All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the Usual Suspects halftime show. I am your host, Jedi Knight Jeff, and we are going to bring in one of our first usual suspects. You all know him as Moon's Custom Armory. The rest of us know him as Jeremy.
Hey, how's it
Jeremy,
going, everybody?
how you doing tonight?
Happy Friday. I am fantastic. And I'm looking forward to our guest tonight because, yeah.
Our guest tonight has been is an up and coming font maker. Been hitting the Instagram and social media hard,
And been
with
killing
some
it too.
fantastic fonts. So unfortunately, we don't have Fours or Link at this moment. Hopefully, they'll join soon. Mike will be on soon, and so right now, I'd like to introduce everybody to. You all know him as Grayscale Fonts, but let's introduce you to Sam.
Howdy.
Sam, how are you?
Doing great. How are you guys?
We're
doing
fantastic. Good. We are fantastic. So hopefully we'll have some of the other guys join here shortly, and we'll bring them on screen as they come in.
Happy Friday, everybody!
Right. Happy Friday. It's almost Halloween. Everybody's getting those Jedi costumes ready to go, or Sith, depending on your. And speak of the devil, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Fours FX.
Hello.
Nice.
What's up?
Howdy.
How are you?
Tired. Hey, Sam.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Oh, you too, buddy.
Alrighty, so we were
Hey,
just
Jeremy.
going to get in to do a little bit of a round robin here. I will, since you haven't really had a chance to chat with Sam yet, we're going to start with you, Fours.
What am I doing?
Questions.
Oh, we're going right into questions, huh?
Oh, yeah, we're going right into questions.
Right into questions. We've done the intro.
Nice.
We're going right into questions.
All right, cool. You guys like the new setup? I mean, it's pretty blank right now, but
That's fine.
well, I got to get
sound
stuff put
great.
up. Oh, thanks. It's all in the technology.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right. So, first, I guess, how long have you been in Saberland?
I was introduced to all this stuff through the lightsaber subreddit like a year and a half ago, something like that. I got my first saber, my Vectra, during Saber Trio's initial run of it. So they only made like 30 of these to start, and I just happened to be lucky enough to get on their website like right when their store reopened and snag myself one. So once this thing came in, what was previously like a pretty casual interest of mine turned into like a full-blown obsession. So yes, as soon as I started kind of figuring out the quirks of CFX and started trying to add my own fonts, I got pretty interested in, when I saw the format, the breakdown of how fonts are made, I was kind of like, I think I could probably do this. Like, I'm gonna maybe, I'll take some pieces from other people's fonts and try and like customize them a little bit, and then as time went on, I kind of got better at it and sort of making my own stuff, and then publishing it. So if I wasn't obsessed with lightsabers before, now it's like a huge part of my life because I am a public figure. So yeah, but like a year and a half, if that answers your question.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, once you're in this thing, it's like a black hole that just keeps sucking you back in. Can't ever seem to get away from it.
Yeah.
Question number 2. So what scene and or scenes from the original 9 have influenced you at not only as as a service member in our community, but just as a fan? What has deep impact on you, basically, is my question.
Yeah, that's a cool question. Let me think about it. I think probably my favorite scene of any Star Wars movie is in Episode 6 at the very end when Vader and Luke are having their kind of final showdown before. I mean, basically the entire end of the movie, right? That battle scene is amazing. The score during that part of the movie is like ridiculously emotionally moving. It's like it's a masterpiece. And then, watching Vader kind of struggle with darkness and light and trying to figure out, in his final moments, can he redeem himself? Has his life meant anything? I don't know. I love that scene. And similarly, I think the end of Revenge of the Sith is equally pretty amazing. Everyone knows that's a super emotional scene. But I don't know, as far as like influencing my work, that's kind of a tough question. I like to think, because my design philosophy is to make fonts that are kind of somewhere in between light and dark and are kind of ethically ambiguous or whatever.
That's your name.
Yeah, exactly. They all exist on the grayscale. So, I think that makes Vader kind of an interesting villain of the series, and that's probably why I really like those two scenes. But that's probably about fair. I'd say.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Jeff?
All right. So now we are going to kick it over to Jeremy.
Okay, because I got sent a video of one of your fonts by a buddy of mine, Clint, and he was blown away. He was like, "This thing is amazing. You gotta check it out." So I went on and checked it out. Okay, I guess my question is, what is the most unique sound that you have put in one of your fonts?
Oh man, that's tough. I kind of shoot for unique and weird stuff in all of my fonts. I'll lead with like, I think the Crispity Prion, the one that everyone knows. I think that's a pretty cool sound. Again, that was I don't know if that's widely known. That was my first font, my first attempt at anything. It's been revised, so a lot of the sounds, sound better now. But even way back when I was just posting stuff on Reddit for free, it was that was the very first one, and that like ramp up the bum 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 is, I think that's pretty interesting and weird and cool. Geez, I'm trying to figure out, like running through my own font catalog. There are a few of them now. I should pull up I'm just going to pull up my list. One sec.
I got to make a comment. The ramp up, I've heard that on so many different occasions from folks reviewing your stuff. And the one thing that pops to my mind is that sound is so steampunk.
Yeah.
Like, like I can picture this lightsaber running on, 18th century clock gears and things like that. And it's just
So
it's like you got to crank up and wind up your saber before it starts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Kind of feels like a old proto saber type thing,
And
it's like it's almost like winding it up like on that power cell, and then
that's what I was going for. The description of the font is specifies that the idea would be that you've like stolen a prototype or hacked together someone's lightsaber that wasn't quite finished or not quite ready to be used yet, and that you sort of modified it and made it work. And it's not perfect and it sounds a little off and weird, but it gets the job done. So yeah, that's right. That's right in the philosophy with that one.
Well,
awesome.
it's funny that you bring up Crispity, because I've got my Saber Trio Aaron that I just got from one of the other usual suspects.
Crispity.
And
There it is. That's my girlfriend.
That's cute as freak.
Isn't it just? She thinks it's so funny that she's on like. Yep. There it is.
That's funny.
That's a
That's
classic.
cool. Yeah, well done.
Honestly,
Matt. Good job.
one of my favorite sounds on his is actually on Magnetic, and it's the spin,
yep.
where for some reason you're just getting it like the
That That should have been my answer. I agree. That
That
is
was-
probably
Well,
the most unique thing that I've done, because the swing pairs are such that they're all 16 seconds long, and the first 8 seconds is ramp up, and the second half of it is just like frenzy mode. So you get
Yeah.
the first bit is like vroom, 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 and then after that it's just like just crazy sounds and yeah. That should have
Well,
been my
that's-
answer. Thank you.
That's great.
and,
Well, that was
and
the first font I downloaded because I saw
Oh,
that
cool.
video and I was just like, I need that font. That was
I
one of my like.
appreciate that.
That was the go-to immediately. Downloaded
Cool.
that font. I'm just like, where is this? I want it. I need this on my Saber.
That's
Nice.
hilarious.
Well,
That's one of
and-
my favorites.
And with Crispity, I think that was one of the first ones that I saw.
Yeah.
And that Prion that you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
that reminds me. It actually reminds me of old school Tetris.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Interesting. That
Yeah.
was
It
not a
reminds
My
me
design
of
son was
inspiration.
just
old-
talking about that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it reminds me of the old school Tetris, and I was like, and with the blade style that you paired with that font in your demo video,
Uh-huh.
where it progressively goes on, I was like, this guy's going somewhere. This guy's got amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot. Brian Connor actually designed that Prion for me, which is super nice. Because he picked that font up, and I credit him for a lot of my growth because I think he's a part of a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't use Facebook all that often. So I think
Good
he
man.
did a bunch of like marketing for me way back before I was even like Grayscale. When I was just Sam on Reddit, it was he picked up Crispity and was showing it to everyone, and he made a blade style for it that was super cool. Like I definitely owe him a little bit for the growth because he did a lot of work for me. He's a cool guy.
that one was sticking the. That's one of the things I really got from your fonts. Is they're you got the people that do the character fonts. You've got the people that do out of universe fonts for themed ones sort of thing, and then you've got but when you've got a unique sound, it just really kicks. And what was the other one? Awaken,
Oh, I love
I think
that
you
one.
just released, which is it's got that little bit in the background.
the little clickies. I love
Right.
those.
And it kind of reminds me of like a cyberpunk type of thing, cyberpunk, and for some reason Johnny Mnemonic came to mind when I was
Oh
when I
wow,
was
dude.
listening to
You're
that
taking
one.
me back.
So yeah, but that was one of my. That's an awesome answer. I thought every one of them has a unique sound. So
I appreciate it. I think cyberpunk is generally what I go for. I had my logo was designed by my graphic design friend, and I sort of like I showed her some of my fonts, but I was like, we're going for kind of like a cyberpunk, like futuristic, but also kind of retro thing. And she was like, oh yeah, I know what to do. So that's always sort of been supposed to be part of the brand. So I appreciate that.
okay, my second question then: is there a sound that you haven't put into your fonts that you're absolutely wanting to put in, but you just haven't found the right thing to do yet for it?
Sure. It's funny you say that. I don't right now, although I have I recently bought this instrument I've always wanted to buy but never had the money to, but now that I'm selling stuff I do, which is so exciting. I bought this instrument called Serum. It's a virtual synth, but there are about 1 billion things I want to do with that. I think my next entire 10 fonts are going to be made with that. It's like
Oh, that's awesome.
it's a really powerful plugin, and I've been wanting to use it for my whole life. So, but if you had asked me that question when I was putting Decay out, which was my final free font of the initial run of free fonts, that Prion that's 12 seconds long, it's super long. That Prion was originally for Deadlink, and I just thought it was too much because it's a little ridiculous. It's very it's a lot, So I sat on that for a while and thought, I'll just use it for something, maybe when I learn Profi. I didn't have a Profi back then either. And I was like, maybe when I have a Profi lightsaber, I'll program some wild style for it or something. But for now, it would just be everyone would be like, I don't want a 12-second pre-on every time I have to use my lightsaber. But then I got a Profi, and I was thinking about switching to the paid model, and I was like, you know what? I'll just throw it in. I'll just throw it in the last one. It matches the style well enough, and it's kind of a fun farewell to that era of grayscale. Is now that I work with a Blade programmer, and I'm learning Profi myself, and we're doing paid fonts, and we're doing fonts more frequently. It's kind of that was like my not nail in the coffin, but like my final. I don't know, sort of like. I'll just use it because I have it. So I did sit on that sound for a while, but right now I'm using everything I got.
That's awesome. That's sick. Like, all right. Well, I'm good with the questions.
Jeremy's happy.
Yes, I'm very happy because I've been like, it was one of those. I've known for Aaron for a while, and we've been I love his fonts and everything. And sometimes when you find a font maker, you're just like, oh, I love these things. Like, I love they're what makes our sabers what they are. So, you can they say, like, I think Aaron says, like, without it, it's just a flashlight.
Or a glow stick.
It's
a glorified flashlight. But I'll tell you something. Yep. I've learned this, and Jeff, I'm sorry, I don't mean to hog your question time. I will say this: as somebody who makes fonts, as somebody who services the community, it's one thing. I hate it. I hate the word accurate. Like, I really do. Because a while back there were people, and it wasn't just font makers. There would be people. It doesn't matter what part of Saberland they were in. They would self-boast. The most accurate. You're never gonna get you're never gonna get better. Mine's the most accurate, and it's the most screen accurate. Like, shut up. Really. Stop it.
Not a problem that I have.
I hate that. I've always hated that self-gloaty, I'm the most pinpoint accurate, blah blah blah, because people sometimes like to hear, oh, well, that's just like the movie, and you've got it so much closer. Like, for example, Jeremy, this will make you chuckle. The whole thing about the Graflex, like the Graflex people. Well, you see, if you look in the movie and you pause on this scene, this screw right here is not supposed to be there. It's actually a Phillips screw. Stop it. Just stop it.
Well, don't they realize it's props? They use like 20 different types of things, and then they've got stunt props, and they've got stuff like that. So
yeah, and that's my point. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how accurate something is. All right, but the truth is, if it looks good and it sounds good to you, that's all that really freaking matters. Case in point.
Sure.
I asked Jeremy to make me this saber exactly like the Old Republic very first saber that you get.
Granted, I was going to do it anyways.
And it came out perfect. It's perfect. I love that I have a game accurate saber, but this is perfect, and I'm so incredibly happy. And if it doesn't, and if it makes somebody else upset, talking about, oh, well, that D-ring's not supposed to be there, or that red button's not red enough, and it's not, shut up. Grow the freak up.
It's perfect to you, and you're the one who bought it.
It's perfect to me, or and it's like, geez, I'm crow, man. Like, people have got to grasp that when you're smiling and you're happy with what you get, all the needs are met.
I had this question come up on my. I streamed with Jesse from Kyberphonic and Babu Sabers and New Type Sith the other day, and we were talking about, like, do you prefer canon hilts or do you prefer like out of universe stuff? And that was kind of a fun question because they were all talking like, oh, I like my canon stuff and some out of universe stuff is cool, and my 2 cents on this issue is just if it feels good in your hand and you like the way it looks and you swing it around, I could not care less if it's from Canon or not. You know, like the Bendu Armory, this thing does not look like it's from Star Wars, but it feels awesome, and I think it looks pretty cool. And
That thing is
you know,
awesome.
like I don't know. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
funny. I agree. I think it's funny that people get particular about that stuff,
Well,
especially to like
and-
shoot other people down about the ones they have.
and a lot of us have our preferred our preferred installers or our preferred manufacturers or creators. I could see you're a Return of the Jedi fan. I am as well.
Big time.
And if I'm gonna have a V2, it's gonna be a Solos hold. Period. Point blank. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not going with anybody else, and I'm not saying that to offend anybody else. I'm saying Aaron Tromley, in my opinion, does the best V2, and I'm always going to stick with it. That's just one man's opinion, and it makes me happy. And I told my wife to bury me with it. So
Rock and roll. Yeah, I'm gonna have
Jeff,
a
I'm
separate
so sorry.
casket. I think.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
be
all good.
collecting these. They're gonna have to
I-
bury them all separate.
I gotta quickly interrupt to bring on the godfather of the font community. You all know him as Link. We know him as Brandon Robbins.
my dude.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's
Oh,
up?
and we can't even see him.
Nope.
Yeah, no camera
Sometimes-
tonight. Sorry, guys.
Sometimes he does this, but
Yeah.
Well,
we
it's still nice to meet you, even if just over audio.
Yeah, no, good to meet you too, bud. And I've seen your work around for quite a while. Forgive me if I don't remember how long you've been doing it, but I know I've seen your name for quite some time, and I'm sure, like most font makers, we've all heard each other's works at some form or fashion in some way, and just maybe didn't even know that font was that person, and because there's so many and so many great artists out there. So yeah, man, it's cool to have you, and Jeff, as per usual, is always probably more gracious than he needs to be. I wouldn't label myself as a godfather of anything except maybe a slice of pizza, like. But
Hey.
hey, I appreciate it nonetheless. But yeah, Sam, good to meet
Well,
you, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you've been doing it for well over a decade, so
yeah, as long as people are
there's-
happy with my work, I'm cool with it.
there's not a whole lot of other people that really have. I mean, there's a few that have been doing it longer, but some of them aren't in it
Very
anymore.
little.
So
Very
I don't
little.
know.
pretty
Yeah.
impressive
Yes.
resume.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny because when I think about it, it's kind of the last thing that I would ever expect to still be doing 10 years later. And I don't know, man. It's kind of it's just, I guess it's probably, I'll say this much, it's probably the only hobby I've ever had where I've stuck with it that long, because people get interested and disinterested and they move on to new things and other things. And, if you're like me, you're someone who likes to change things up every once in a while. But Star Wars is just like eternal. So it's just always
Yeah.
been this thing in my back pocket and I took a break for a few years, but I came right back, and, I think that's the thing with
Revitalized.
Star Wars will always bring me back in some capacity. And right now we're in an era where there's just so much new content in the pipeline. It's like, how could you not be excited as a fan? I mean, there's
That's what I
going to
was
be
going to
something
say.
for
I was
everybody.
going to say now's a great time to be back doing it.
No
It's pretty much
gotcha.
the golden era
kidding.
of for the last little while. Lightsaber
The amount of
stuff
stuff,
and
cool.
Star Wars content wise.
so
The amount of
do you,
stuff
do you
coming
have a,
out.
do you have a couple of questions for Sam, Brandon?
Oh, this is you'll have to forgive me, Sam. This is where I'm kind of the worst as far as the suspects and cast
Oh, I
of
don't
the
mind.
show goes. Is like
That's a shame.
I'm usually a couple of minutes late, and I'm usually the one that forgets that we do questions, and I'm like, oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm supposed to think of something.
No problem at all. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do you,
Okay.
do you
So
want do you want
I-
me to do mine and come back to you?
Sure.
No, don't give him any freebies. Make him ask something on the spot.
No,
Make
we'll
him
give
work.
we usually put him on the spot. I'll give him a pass tonight.
All right. All right, I got a real
Um,
hard question for you, Sam.
Oh,
We're talking about breakfast cereal, and the question is milk, then cereal, or cereal, then milk?
I haven't had cereal in a really long time. I have to think about it.
Good
I'm
man.
going into my mind. I'm thinking, I have a bowl of cereal in front of me. How did it get there? I think it got there with cereal and then milk. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
welcome to stay on
I'm-
the show now.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah.
I passed the qualifier. That's good stuff.
Oh, there's
No,
gonna be
I think
somebody
that's
in
the
this.
correct answer. Well, otherwise, how do you get the ratio right? You don't know. You know how much cereal you want, but you don't know how much milk that. No one can eyeball that.
You would be surprised how many people want to go to war over that topic.
Now, here's something funny for you, okay? You can have the cereal and then the milk, and when you finish the cereal, right, and you want more and there's still milk in the bowl, then you can eye the ratio. It's like, then
That's
you just
true.
know.
Well, that's
Yeah,
because
you go back for seconds, man.
your margin of error is way higher when you've got that entire bowl. I mean, you've only have milk probably at the bottom third. You've got
Yeah.
plenty of. You can overshoot it, and that's not a problem. But
Oh, yeah, and the flavor's already
initially,
there.
you have the stakes are quite high because the bowl you risk overfilling, and if you overfill it, then you've got a ruined bowl of cereal.
Jeff,
the
we
ratio
Yeah,
have
and it's
milk
like, yo, if I got
officially-
my freaking cornflakes and I fill up the bowl with milk and then I pour the flakes like an idiot, well, I'm gonna spill flakes all over the place. They're
That's
gonna
high
be on
risk.
the top already, and I'm gonna
High
waste
risk,
all
low
that
reward.
cereal.
Yeah, there's
It's
a way
like-
better way of doing it.
You don't
Jeff,
waste
we have
flakes
ruined your
like
show
that.
with cereal. You do realize that. We have ruined your... Not only have we ruined your show with cereal, we've ruined it with cornflakes.
Yeah, this is what you get for inviting
There's-
me. Ha! Yeah,
there's-
who's the
well-
nerd now?
Well, Steve,
And
there's
I'll
there's
side with
worse,
cornflakes. I like cornflakes. I do. They're
There's,
delicious.
there's worse things that we could have to listen to, Link. So just
Well,
saying.
and fortunately, the fact that I don't eat cereal anymore is the reason why I don't take up the whole camera screen anymore. So,
This is true.
good times.
All right, question 2, Link.
So, question number 2, I'll get a little more down to earth, I guess. So, what is your favorite? Just what is it about Star Wars that keeps you interested and engaged in this hobby? Like, what's your most favorite thing, whether that's a character or in a movie or a game, or what is the thing about Star Wars that keeps you engaged and excited about the hobby?
Yeah, sure. I think most people probably already agree with this, but potential hot take: George Lucas's greatest talent is universe building. I wouldn't say so much storytelling, which is why I think this era of Star Wars is going to be really interesting because he isn't directly involved with that stuff, but
Yeah.
the universe that he built is the entire reason I stick around. It's like it came about. Okay, for one thing, it came about at like the most magical time. The era when those movies were coming out, literally, when they had this cool vision of like the future and about space, but also were kind of limited to doing some film tricks. They didn't have CGI. They didn't have fancy. Whoa! Sorry, there's a lightning storm like right outside my house. If you guys can hear any of that, that's sorry. It's super
Don't-
loud. Do you hear
Don't
it?
lose your internet and your freaking computer over a storm, man.
Yeah, hopefully we're good. But it is like right overhead. That was loud. All right. Anyway, my point is like the first 3 movies set up like the most beautiful, kind of retro, but also futuristic and warm, but exciting. It hits like every single mark of a good universe that I would want checked. It hits all the boxes. And then I think, because we had the prequels come out, which they were coming out when I was a kid. I was born at the very end of the 1990s, so I was like a kid when all the prequels were coming out, which was pretty fun. But then there was a lull, and now the thing that keeps me engaged is that there is a ton of fuel behind it and lots of new creators and directors and people and artists are involved, and they inherit this glorious universe from a long time ago that follows all these rules that I like, but also are given, throwing money at it, entertaining lots of new ideas and alternatives, and video games especially. Fallen Order was like my favorite game ever. It's still up there for sure. I've played through it twice. you're like full completionist and all that. So I don't know. High level, I think the universe is beautiful. That's my favorite thing about Star Wars.
That's like the best answer I've ever heard. Legit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've thought about this a lot.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it makes you think the way you described it, and you were very specific in the distinction between universe building and storytelling because they are very different.
Yeah.
And I do like that. And as you were talking, it was making me think about answering the same question. And man, I have to say I relate on a lot of levels with that where, like I say this like every week. I'm real into the audiobooks and I started yet another one. I've been into the High Republic stuff and they just released a new one that's basically like a laser focus on one particular character in the enemy faction, the Nihil. And it's basically this character's backstory and yeah, the universe building. The storytelling's pretty good, but it expands on the universe building like you described, where it's introducing these different planets and these different alien races and these different, an entirely different conflict. But the way it's told and done, it's all still Star Wars. And these are this particular character is not a Jedi. This whole story doesn't even focus on the Jedi. It focuses on the Nihil enemy faction.
Right.
And so it's really cool to like hear storytelling about this universe with non-Jedi characters and you still end up caring about it, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, depending on how stories are told and written in the expanded universe, is like if it's not Jedi, like some stories just aren't, it's almost like they don't put the same love into it.
Yeah.
So for what I'm listening to right now, you do feel that. Like I'm like, yeah, dude, like this absolutely feels like Star Wars, even though not one lightsaber has been swung, and it's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and finally I'm getting some content that is it doesn't have to be a Jedi or a Sith for it to be good. It's just Star Wars, and I'm like, and truly it's really kind of a breath of fresh air. It's
Yeah.
like you said, in the 2000s we had this just massive lull, and then the sequel trilogy has its merit, and it's not without its issues on both sides of the opinions, but it's still Star Wars, right? It's like, and then of course you got Mandalorian, and we got Book of Boba Fett coming up, the Fallen Order, like you mentioned. I'm the same way. I played it to completion at least 3 or 4 times.
Hell yeah.
Cal Kestis and BD1 are literally like some of my most favorite Star Wars characters, games. I hope they put him in live action,
Yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
just, you're right. Like the time we're in right now, there's so much money being put behind it, so much more people that are good at storytelling and directing that world building and man, this is, if you're a Star Wars fan and you grew up like with Jeff with the OT, this has got to be like Jeremy and Jeff, y'all. This has got to be like Christmas, like every day for you guys. Comparatively speaking, in terms of like volume of content, right?
I'm up
Right.
there with them, right?
I grew up in I was born in 1979, so 2 years after the original movie.
Oh, okay.
But 1980, I never got to see those movies in the theater, but my dad brought them home.
Yeah.
Heck
So
yeah.
I
My
am
dad watched them.
officially the oldest guy in the room. That's frightening.
You're just the most seasoned,
Okay, let's
Distinguished.
distinguished.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
civilized.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump into mine quickly, and then we're gonna bring on my brother, my extended family member, my partner in crime, Ninja Jedi Order. So I'm gonna jump into my
Woo!
questions quickly,
Nice.
and then we'll bring him in. So my first question to you, Sam, is who is your all-time favorite Star Wars character from the 9 movies?
Okay. All right. Restricted to the movies.
Yes.
Because I was almost going to say Cal Kestis, but no.
Cal
Let me think about it. That's tough. I mean, I want to give like the cookie cutter answer of Darth Vader, but I'm trying to make sure that that's completely accurate. I'm trying to run through my mental catalog of characters because I really do like. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. I think he's a cool, and everyone says this is like a very basic answer, but you know, he's not so much. It's really interesting to watch him because he's sort of a villain, but not so much because of the way he is, but well, because he's been given way too much power, and he's kind of, because of the way he was raised and his journey that he had to go on, I think a little bit emotionally like stunted, or maybe you know, a little bit underdeveloped because he was ripped from his parents and just taken away, which is kind of a weird plot point, but you know, raised by Jedi and was just kind of thrown around, and everyone sort of treated him as a kid as if he were a weapon or like the key to winning the war, and not so much like a person with a family and needs, you know? I mean, when he was introduced to the council, all of the, you know, all of the internal dialogue between all of them was like, is he the chosen one? He's very powerful, his midichlorian count's really high or whatever, you know. None of it about no concern for his well-being or any of that. So I think it's interesting to kind of watch a character like that deal with a very weird reality that is unfamiliar to most people, and the result of it is you get, you know, he reaches, what age is he in Revenge of the Sith? He's like in his 20s, right? He's probably around my age. Ridiculously powerful.
24-ish.
Okay, yeah. So just like a teeny bit older than me. He's insanely powerful. He's been given a ton of political power by you know, Palpatine and other agents that are vastly more in control of a wider narrative that he doesn't even know about. And it turns him to do some super awful stuff, but it's not black and white. You can't just say he's a bad guy, you know. It's, how could he not be at that point, you know? Like, given all of his circumstances and background, it's like almost inevitable that he would end up that way. And then you get 4, 5, and 6 for his redemption arc, where he meets his son, and it reminds him of his past and when things were better, and he can kind of process trauma finally, because, you know, he's given like this second chance through Luke's story and lifetime. I don't know. You know what I'm saying, right? I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but
No,
he's a
what you
very
say
interesting character.
that
makes perfect sense.
Okay,
100%.
awesome.
That makes perfect sense.
So I think just for that, there are lots of lovable characters in the movies, but he's just interesting to me. I think it's fun to think about.
Okay, so next question is lightsaber related.
Cool.
It's actually a two-parter.
Right on.
So first part is favorite canon hilt. Second part is, what would your lightsaber color be? Your personal color be?
Good question.
Okay, yeah, I can really easily answer the second one, but we'll come back to it. Okay, I've actually been thinking about this a lot, because you guys know I have these 3 lightsabers: Vectra, Obsidian, Defender. Which I guess they're not all the way on screen. They're in my demo videos if you want to see them. I also have 2 more on the way, but they're also not canon, either of them. So I'm trying to think, because I've been thinking, should I just have a canon one for fun if I had to pick one? And my philosophy with like buying lightsabers, because it's kind of related, is I'm more attracted to like form and function than I am to like which character it belonged to or what scenes it was in. I'm more of like an aesthetically driven person when it comes to picking a favorite hilt, just because I like holding them. If I can own one, and I'd like it to be comfortable and look cool looking, and I want to spin around and play with it. I think Qui-Gon's hilt is really cool. The ridges and the full black with the red button. Obi-Wan's original lightsaber is really pretty. I love, does like a Starkiller hilt count as, it's not in the movies, but it is canon. I think Starkiller hilts are very cool. And by extension, I think the Graflex is like classically beautiful. It does not look comfortable, but I think there's
totally
something to be
isn't.
said for I mean, just seeing it's the very first lightsaber you see in any movie, and it's like really quirky and weird. And I know it's a flash gun. You know, it's not even they didn't even make that prop. They just kind of it's just an era appropriate thing that kind of looked like a sword hilt. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's really cool. My first ever lightsaber was one of those master replicas, Darth Vader hilts from like 2002 or whatever. They're super old.
Yeah.
It did have some features of modern tech, but just barely, you know. So I've always been a fan of Darth Vader's hilt just because of that. I think just the nostalgia of like remembering being a kid and holding that thing and being like, wow, this is like just from the movies, you know. So that is a really hard question. I'll tentatively go with, if I had to narrow it. Oh wait, does Cal Kestis's lightsaber count as canon too? Because that it is pretty cool.
Yes,
Yeah, he's
because
canon.
Saw Gerrera.
I would say yeah.
Yeah, he is canon.
It does count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saw Gerrera.
Honestly, that's probably it, just because it looks cool. I mean, I love Cal. He's one of my favorite characters from Star Wars as well. But yeah, his lightsaber's pretty cool. It'd probably be between that, Qui-Gon, and Darth Vader. But as far as my like canon character's lightsaber color, the lights behind me. Basically, I would like to dual wield. I've always thought like Asajj Ventress's fighting style is really cool. Ahsoka's fighting style is really cool. Characters with two hilts. I would absolutely be a dual wielder. Not a staff, but you know, one in each hand.
Right.
And I'd have
Yeah.
one pink and one cyan. I just like
Nice.
they're the colors of my logos. They're the colors that keep the lights in the room. I just think it's a cool combo. They look cool
That's-
together.
That's cool, man.
All right.
Very cyberpunkish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well,
So-
and then fitting in with grayscale. One of them's close to red. One of them close to blue. You get a little bit of dark, a little bit of light.
Right.
I like
Very
how he
nice.
thinks. I like how
So
he thinks.
so now we're gonna bring on my co-host, my brother, my partner in crime. Everybody knows him. We used to know him as Star Wars Haven 77. Now we know him as Ninja Jedi Order,
Heck yeah.
and he also goes by Mike.
What's
up,
up, guys?
brother?
Very nice.
What's up, dude?
Looking good.
Thank you.
My that's in my top 3 favorite original.
Yeah,
fonts right there. I love that one.
Nice to see you guys. Sam, what's up? Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet
Um,
you. Face
so
to face.
this-
I have
this-
the profile on here with that Crystal Focus made for CFX. For
Oh, cool.
Tristan.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
So-
I've talked
so
to him a
this-
whole bunch. He's cool.
This is awkward, Mike. We need to talk and coordinate before we do streams.
Oh yeah. What's up? Oh, you got the best dad shirt too. I have Yoda best dad.
I have Grogu and it says naps and snacks.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I sort of have. I don't know if you want to call it his dad. I don't want to start controversies.
You know,
But
and then Sam and I have the coordinated V-necks going here. So
Yeah.
cool. Aaron, I like
Hey,
the
I got
the
this
room.
one. Check
Oh,
out
the
my
blank
saber.
wall.
It's very cool.
And yes, it does go off to the side, so PG-13.
Oh, I see. Oh, nice.
Very good. Good to clarify.
No, Aaron,
Right.
it's cool. It's like mysterious. I like that.
Yeah, I'm mysteriously poor.
I'm sure it's a mystery as to why the last 2 streams I had no green screen, but I mean that's a long story. But that's
Nah,
about it.
I've actually got some stuff being framed right now, and eventually my son is dying for me to get D-Lit framed and put up, and
Yeah,
so,
you gotta
So-
frame that.
I got
So,
some
Mike,
stuff.
now you're on the spot to ask
Cool.
Sam a couple of questions.
So I was putting the kids to sleep. I sort of caught the beginning. So I know some of the questions, but stop me if it's been repeated. But so far, so what I want to ask. So number one thing that kind of went through my mind, if nobody asked it, is obviously you make unique fonts. You make like out of universe stuff. You know, have you ever thought about going into like in universe stuff at all in any shape or form?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to doing it, but I have no plans in the immediate future because I think okay, obviously like the two K-Sith and Kyberphonic are in my mind the two that have been really aggressive about getting like picture perfect super film accurate sound fonts, and for one thing, I don't think I can compete with that. Not that I even want to, but like if I were to make like a Luke font, I would rather just tell people to go buy one of theirs or whatever. Like
Right.
I don't feel like I'd be contributing anything new if I went that route. So I think realistically there'd be like one case where I would consider it, and it's if some brand new episode of something aired and there was a really crazy sounding lightsaber in it that I thought maybe I could replicate or have my own take on that was maybe ambiguous. Because I thought about that when Ahsoka appeared in The Mandalorian. I don't know if you guys noticed, the sound design in that episode is wild. Her lightsabers are really actually pretty like not like inconsistent, but they make a lot of weird sounds over the course of that episode. Sometimes it's wobbly, and sometimes it's smooth, and sometimes it's harsh, and sometimes it's soft. And I thought about maybe doing like my own take on Mandalorian Ahsoka, but that project ended up turning into Gray, which is a sound font that I released, but I didn't market it as an Ahsoka. But my original intent with that sound font was to make an Ahsoka inspired, So I could see myself doing something like that, where if I thought I could maybe get close enough to something in canon, but then have my own spin on it, I would consider that. But otherwise, I really like the little niche that I think I'm synonymous with at this point. The sort of like sound signature that I've put together. I don't know.
Yes.
Not in the immediate future. So
Yes. No,
Yeah.
that's a great answer to the question. I had a feeling, but I was like, you know what? Let me
yeah.
let me throw it out there. I'm sure people are wondering anyway, and that's good to hear your take on it. Question number 2. I think there's 2, right? Question number 2.
There is.
Not really lightsaber related too much, but it's about liquid death. I want to hear a little more about that, and that looks interesting. I've seen it around, but
All right. So drinking liquid death guarantees immortality. That's
Nice.
the thing. Yeah. Someone in one of I do these behind the scenes live streams where I kind of show off the process behind making fonts after I post them.
I
they're
saw
kind
one of those. I think, yeah.
Cool. So someone in his name's Tim Olson. He shows up to like all of them. He's super cool. He pointed out I hadn't figured out the reason that liquid death makes you live forever. He pointed out that consuming death kind of immunizes your body to the effects, so that when it's time to die, your body's like, I've done this before.
yeah,
I've seen
piece of
this
cake.
before. I can deal with that. Your immune system takes care of it, and then you don't die, and you just keep doing that forever. What's that Sith's name that holds himself together with hate in KOTOR 2? Whatever his name is.
Nihilus?
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Is it Nihilus or is it the other one?
It's
No,
not
Nihilus is the
Nihilus, it's
consumer.
other one.
The Darth Bandon? No. There's a lot of
Anyway, my non-sarcastic answer is that it's just really tasty water. That's basically it. The cans are tall, and I think they look nice, and they taste really good. And the black cans behind, I don't know why I pointed over there. The black cans behind me are sparkling. So in particular, I'm a fan of the sparkling water, but I drink still water on the streams most of the time so that my mouth doesn't dry out. And you guys don't have to hear my lips smacking on my on my microphone. So the sparkling water is really where it's at. It's low carbonation, so you can drink it really fast, and it doesn't make you feel sick, but it's very tasty. So
all good. Cool, man. I'll have to check
you
it out.
notice, I mean, where you've seen, I have LaCroix panels all along my wall. I drink so much sparkling water. I love it so much. So Liquid
Nice.
Death is just my favorite of all the sparkling waters.
Nice, cool. And Jeff, if you want to just put me on screen. So Sam, I had a feeling when you were talking about your favorite Canon hill that it was going to go there, and I made sure to bring this down because you were asking me questions before. So
yeah. Oh
yeah.
I'm still very interested.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. This is from Ultimate Works. This is the the POC store is where I ordered it from. But yeah, still playing around with this thing. I still have yet to review it. Put out a review video. I had kind of a busy time this week with real life stuff. But yeah, definitely great. They even put NeoPixel connector, with the lights in it already. So which I didn't, because it comes shipped with the blade plug, and then as soon as I wanted to put the blade in for the first time, came out and I'm like, wait, it's not a NeoPixel blade plug, and I'm like, oh no, I'm like that. Oh, actually, oh yeah, oh this is awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, the only thing is I see in a lot of depictions where this part is dark darker, like the vents
Oh
inside.
yeah.
That's the only thing about it. Otherwise, like it's awesome, and it even has like some of the damage and the whatever this is supposed to be, like a lightsaber crystal, I guess. It doesn't come out or anything. It doesn't light up, which would have been fantastic, but maybe there's a way to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna find a way to do that. But otherwise, yeah, man, I've been playing around with it a little bit. One volume setting, like I was saying, it's you got to play around with it. I don't know. I'm still getting to know it. So
Yeah. What board does it have?
this is Asteria, but they also have Profi. I
Right.
just have a Profi. I have it's not here, but I have it from my Graflex with the accurate screw, Aaron, the accurate screw. And I have it on the Graflex, so I didn't want to get the like another Profi. So, and I just learned Profi, and I'm like, let me learn something else. So I got Asteria just to have like different boards, and I have a feeling that's what I'm doing now. I'm collecting. It's not going to stop. I'm collecting different boards now. I'm probably going to get like Golden Harvest next or something. It's just not going to stop.
I hear
And,
really good things about Golden Harvest. Yeah.
Cool.
Apparently,
I'm
it's
a
like
Golden
CFX,
Harvest
but-
install. I install Golden Harvest on most of my stuff, and
Yeah.
Yep.
I really like the board. So
That's probably where I'm going to try to get my next saber, by the way, Jeremy. So yeah, we'll talk.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, Cole says that you can put a Profi heart into the
Oh, cool.
Fallen 2, which is cool. So they have a removable chassis, which I'm not
Yeah.
really going to remove on camera right now, but basically it just sorry guys. Basically it just it comes out and everything's in one piece. So you can get another saber from them, from Ultimate Works or from Puck Store or whatever. And then you could just put in the same chassis into the other saber. And now you have two sabers with the same chassis, and you could play around with sound fonts. I might do that also in the future because it's kind of convenient, I guess.
they pre-kit it, right?
Yeah,
They
and I
Pre-kit.
think,
Yeah, you
I
have to
think-
buy the pre-kit for that. You can't just buy an empty.
Yeah, and I think anything from the POC store in their Ultimate Works series, you can switch out chassis.
Yeah, it's like 90-something%, like pretty much all of them. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Gonna start doing more Profi demos. Usually I've only done CFX demos. I'm gonna start doing more Profi demos. Things like that, playing around with profiles. I like a lot of yours, Sam, that you included in some of your fonts, but I haven't really quite put them on my Profi Saber yet. But yeah,
Sweet.
cool. We'll see.
Yeah, I've been pretty interested. I think I've never known how to pronounce this. Pack store.
Pack. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah. Their ecosystem, the swappable chassis, and the they all apparently sound pretty good, which is impressive because they use pretty small speakers, I think. But
It's
it
loud.
seems to me like the quality of the materials and the chassis system seems pretty convenient, and that one looks pretty accurate to the game. I think they put in like a pretty good amount of attention to detail with this.
They did. Even
And a
the
lot of
little
their other ones, too.
little circuitry thing, the little card
Yeah,
here.
like, did not have to do that,
Yeah.
So I've been casually. I don't think I'll order one for a while. I was just kind of interested, kind of keeping an eye on what they've been up to.
Mhm.
I think I'll order from them at some point for sure.
And it's good sound vents too. So they put these little
Yeah.
I guess these little holes everywhere. Like even I guess it's supposed to be part of. You can technically even it's empty in there, honestly. So you can technically even put like LED lights in there or something. I don't know. Like I'm gonna find a way to do that because that could look cool, like lit up. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna like paint this or anything like that. We'll see kind of
Yeah.
where it all goes. But yeah, enough on that, I guess.
Cold Weather says POC. Yeah.
Hawk,
All right.
like
POC
hawk.
Store. Good to know.
The Pork Store. Yeah, and Cole actually has the staff, by the way. I don't know if you knew
Okay,
that.
cool. That's
He
what I
has
was
the
interested
staff
in.
version of this saber, and what you could get, I think, was it $30 now, Cole? They sell this sleeve now. You could buy it separately, and you
Right.
could buy it. Let's say 2. Now you have 2 of these.
And then you
So
can staff them. Yep.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks for bringing that on. That's
Yeah,
helpful.
man. All good.
All right, so now you've got about 5 minutes to showcase whatever you want to showcase.
Oh, jeez.
Anything you're working on, anything you got coming out.
Yeah. Let me think
The
about it.
floor
So,
is yours.
cool. Yeah, let me let me think about it. I have one font that's completely finished that I'm just waiting on because you guys know I work with another person that does Profi Blade styles, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah,
did.
You were talking
I'm
about that. It
learning-
was Christian, right?
Yeah. His name's Christian. He's super cool. He donated all of the Profi styles for my original 15 free fonts. He just reached out to me one day and was like, "Hey, just so you know, I have a lot of fun doing this, and if it's all right with you, I don't want to." He was like, "I don't want to profit from this or anything. I'm just doing this because I have fun with it. I have styles that are really interesting for all 15 of your fonts. If you want to just put them on your site, you're welcome to." And I was like, "Really? That's awfully nice of you." So then I put them up and I was like, "Hey, do you want to keep doing it with me? I'm still learning Profi myself, but as long as you'd like to stick around." So, we have a deal. We split profits that we make. He does tremendous work. You guys know all the recent styles for the last few have been, all him. He's really good. I did the one for Masterless, which I'm pretty proud of. I'm starting to kind of pick it up, and I'd like to be more involved with that process. But anyway, I have one that's completely finished, and I want him to work on it because he's. I'll just show it off. It's not that big of a deal. Hang on one sec. Let me get a blade. So this one was also a commission, as the last few have been. This was supposed to sound like something inspired by Darkseid, the comic book character. He's been in some live action stuff too. He's from the DC universe.
Yep.
So let me navigate to it. Oh, here it is. All right. So it's got a bunch of DC Universe sounds in it. I'm not personally major fan, so I can't answer a ton of questions about this stuff, but I had a lot of help from my commissioner, the person that hired me. So this is absolutely one of my favorite ones, and I'm super excited to release it. We just need to get a Profi style finalized before I can do that. So let me know if you can hear this or if you want me to do anything differently, but here you go. Very spooky. Hopefully that's coming through.
It
You
is.
guys hear that?
Yep.
Cool. There's some blasters for you. Very spooky sounding. We have some lockup. Super spooky stuff. And then
That's awesome.
this is really interesting. He requested a super quick power off followed by a long post off. And at first I was kind of like, that's weird. Not normally what I do, but I kind of dig it. So here's what turning it off looks like. Super quick. So anyway,
Nice.
that's what I'm working on. And then
That
I
is
have
sick.
I
That's
won't
awesome.
spoil what the one after that. I'm about halfway done with the one coming after that. I won't spoil that. I'll leave that for another interaction with the public. But anyway,
that's awesome.
I'm so excited to release that one. That one's going to be called Apocalypse. That
Nice.
should be out in a couple weeks.
Nice.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you don't know, the other thing that Mike's currently not on screen, but the other thing that Mike and I have in the works is we're actually working on a video podcast series that we have dubbed Jedi Mind Tricks.
Cool. I like that.
And yeah, so we've recorded two episodes already. We are recording another episode this weekend. We're having some scheduling conflicts with some of the people that we've had agree to come on. But our first two episodes was Rob Petcow of Genesis Custom Sabers.
Cool.
And our second, you will know exactly who this is because you own one of his sabers. It was Andrew Woods from Benju Armory.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
My
Yeah.
man. Yeah, he's awesome.
So and Andrew's actually agreed to do a second episode with us because we went through so much stuff with him that that we didn't touch on everything we wanted to touch on with him. So we're actually going to end up doing a part 2 with him.
Yep.
Cool.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
so and then for all of you who are wondering, this, what is it, Sunday night, Mike?
I think it's tomorrow. Oh, it is Sunday. You're right.
Yeah, it's Sunday night. We're doing our interview with Ray Kennex that we had on the stream 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do our podcast interview with her. I tried to schedule actually Cal from KR Sabres, but we're having some issues because of the 7-hour time difference between us,
Yeah.
between here and the UK. So we'll get that one nailed down eventually and get that one out, because that one's another one that I'm really excited about. So
That's awesome. I just ordered a flagship, so
well,
that'll be cool. I'm so excited. That yes,
There it is. There it is.
mine's going to
There
be
it
in brass, and the particular thing I'm excited about is that it's not going to have a speaker. It's going to have just a direct out, so I can record
Nice.
my demo videos straight to my computer instead of miking my lightsaber. So
Nice.
that'll be here in a
Force.
few weeks, and I think it's going to make a big difference.
Fours is a big
demo
fan of
video
the Direct
quality-wise.
Connect.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're very
So-
cool. I'm so excited to
To-
have my own.
to-
It'll be Profi installed, so
I don't know what I want to do with this
Oh.
yet. That's the thing. I stare at it and go, what am I going to do with this thing? Am I going to just do something etched wise, or am I going to really mess it up and make it funky in my own? So
that's what I'm here for.
To-
You should full screen yourself so I can see. I want to see it in detail. I can see a
To
tiny bit,
answer-
but my
to
screen's kind of
quickly-
small.
to quickly answer Cole's question about when the podcast is going to drop, we're hoping, I mean, the more we can get recorded, the better off we're going to be in the long run, but hopefully it's coming very, very soon.
Yeah, we wanted at least
Awesome.
like maybe 2 more recordings, and then like start releasing. But that's the thing, like Jeff was saying, scheduling stuff, and we're only doing our 3rd one this weekend. Everyone's a real life person, and they have their own other things, so we're gonna try to.
So maybe
that.
we can actually get in a 4th one and see if Sam can do an episode with us on Sunday.
As long as Sam's
Yeah.
down.
I've got a friend in town that is leaving on Monday, so Sunday probably. Depending on, how long would you guys record for?
We're keeping it to a maximum of an hour.
Oh, yeah, I can do that for sure.
Like Max, yeah.
What time zone are you in? You're in Mountain, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're 8 o'clock right now, so you're the same time as I am. So
Oh, yeah, great. Same time as Jeff.
yeah, so what we're
same time as
thinking,
me.
yeah,
Very
same
nice.
time
And
as
you,
Jeremy,
and you.
because Jeremy and I are actually in the same city.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
what we're doing Ray Kennex at 8 o'clock our time, because she's in California. So does 6:30 your time or 6:30 our time work for you?
6:30 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
should be fine.
That's the problem with Cal. Is Cal's like, I kind of would like to do it around noon, and I'm like, that's 5 a.m. my time. I am not getting up at
Yeah.
5 in the morning to do a podcast with you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's rough.
No matter
Yeah,
how
we'll work
cool
it
that
out.
would be at 5 o'clock on a weekend is pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids aren't even up that early. So
So, what state are you in, Sam?
I'm in Utah.
Utah, nice.
Yeah.
So
Not
I'm
for
in New
long
York.
though.
Oh, okay,
I'll be in Seattle, Washington in 4 months from now. So
cool. You're gonna go an hour back, right? Is that?
yep, I've got a job lined up there, graduating college in 3 months. So
Oh, awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Awesome.
oh, thanks. I'm really excited.
Cole's
Cool. Yeah. So
What's your
I'm.
major?
Cole's like, I'll wake up at 5. Yeah, I'm in New York, so I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys right now.
Oh, cool.
But, well, of you guys, me and Forrest are in the same time zone.
Nice.
But
and then Brandon's kind of in between.
yeah, and yeah, but we'll make it work. Cool.
Cool. What's the subject matter? Should I come prepared with anything?
So kind of like a little bit of what we're doing now. Maybe
It's
we'll have
kind of
some new
like what the
questions from
first,
you.
yeah, it's kind of like what the first hour of this was like.
Cool.
We're gonna ask you questions. We're gonna have you. So I mean, if you wanna demo some of your fonts right on the podcast that you have released, in case, because what we're trying to do with this, and actually, the man in the bottom right corner was kind of the man behind all this. We're trying to do this as an introduction for people into the community as well.
Cool.
So, guys that are just getting into it or want to get into it, know who's out there and what's available, and yeah, so
Sounds good to me.
Anyway, I
And-
gotta cut
and-
it short because I gotta go.
and
So-
Liam's in the
I
house.
think
so
I got to bounce
Jeremy,
too, actually. So
Jeremy,
that's good
would-
timing.
So
What's
Liam's
that?
in the house. Liam's in the house. So Jeremy, if you want to tell Liam to call his mom, because he might have forgotten tonight.
Yeah.
sorry, Sam. That's a long-standing joke.
I was going to say, I feel like this one's going right over my head. I'm just going to kind of roll with it.
Yeah,
So-
that's nothing.
He
Call
wanted to get
your
a close.
mom.
He wanted to get a closer look at that saber as well, Jeremy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, show
Quickly
me.
before
There
you-
you go, yeah.
Flagship.
Mm.
I got one of the things off,
Yeah, I see.
but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm so excited. I've
they're
always thought
nice.
that.
Like these are nice hilts. Like they're
Yep.
slit. Like they're comfortable, right?
Yeah, I think
And,
it's probably like when I was found the subreddit for the first time and all that stuff. That
This is my fallen order.
saber-
Ooh.
Oh, it's pretty. It's
Yeah, he did a
weathered.
great job on that.
Love it.
This was a V1, so I weathered it, and the battle damage is actually done by myself.
Nice.
I did it-
Wow, that looks
that's all
amazing.
dremeled, and
Yeah, I was just gonna say it looks like you drummed it.
so
That is really
Stuff out of it.
impressive.
so yeah.
That's dope.
This is my own personal one. So
Nice.
That's super cool.
anyway, Sam, awesome to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you
I'm
too.
really
Good
looking forward to
ditto,
more of your
everyone.
fonts coming out. So
Yeah. There's plenty more. No intention
I
of
look
stopping
forward to
anytime
them.
soon.
Jeremy,
Anyway,
as
guys.
always, it's been a pleasure. Have a good night.
bye,
Hey,
guys.
Jamie.
Have a good night.
Take care, y'all.
We will talk soon.
See
You bet.
later.
See ya.
Oh, now we got Zero in the house.
All right, and I think I'm gonna hop off here too. So,
Yeah, Sam, we'll catch you on
So-
Sunday, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sunday we're gonna do. It'll be StreamYard just like tonight.
Okay.
So we'll send.
It's
you
just
the-
not live. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not live.
That's
so
all.
it's all pre-recorded.
Cool.
And I'll send.
Sounds
We'll
good.
send you the StreamYard invite Sunday. Probably about five or 10 minutes before we want to record. So
Sounds good to me.
sounds good.
Nice meeting
Okay.
you. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
nice meeting all of you. I
Thank-
will talk to you guys soon.
Sounds
Take it
good.
easy,
Thank you
brother.
very much.
Yeah.
Wow, what an awesome
And-
guy.
And then there were 4. So hopefully Ian can jump on soon. He said he was going to be done work in about an hour. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, that guy needs a break.
So-
Needs to chill.
So we have not actually done some of those questions that were asked to Sam tonight. We've done round robins with all of us before, but some of this stuff we have never done. So I'm gonna go around the room and start with this guy right here.
Ask away.
What would your personal lightsaber color be?
Cyan. I don't have to think about that one. I don't know. Just always been my favorite one. I go to Cyan all the time. I don't know. It's just like when I scroll through them, I love all of them. Like if I go to a font that I want to choose the color, it's not character specific or something. I'm like, no, I'll go to Cyan. Even if it's like a funky profile, like Electrified or something, I'll go with that. But yeah, I guess like second favorite would be green. So definitely like a Luke green, Luke Return of the Jedi green. But that's me. Where are we going? We're going to Aaron.
Where's
Oh, me.
Where,
Favorite favorite lightsaber color. For the longest time it was yellow. Wait, hello?
I hear
Test.
you.
Oh, okay. Somebody went quiet. Maybe it was Mike.
Yeah, that was me, but I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah, favorite lightsaber color for me for the longest time was yellow, and I really still like it a lot. But I don't know, man. A white blade for me, it just kind of, and it's weird. It's really not to do with Ahsoka at all. Why I like the white blades. I mean, she looks great with them. But to be honest, it really kind of just when I created, when I created Repulse Collectibles, it started as Repulse Custom Sounds, but Repulse Collectibles, the whole motif I went with was black and white, and I do love a black blade, but the white blade is the only, a black blade isn't canon unless you count the dark saber. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of back and forth with people whether they want to consider that a black blade or
I would say yeah.
I mean, it is, but yeah, that's the only canon one that there is, at least that I can think of. And then, but a white blade, there's somebody's cooking dishes or something.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
that's my
Is
bad,
that-
but not my actual bad.
Dishes, yeah. So if I was like put a gun to my head, wanted to pick like just one and that's it, probably white.
Kate, fours.
And there it is.
He was waiting to do that.
Blue.
Love
I mean,
it.
come on.
All right. So two can play at that game.
Oh, I don't want to fire up my Fallen. It's too loud.
Ooh,
Oh, since I have the screen here, the saber here,
that's Farm Boy Blue.
I got to show Aaron the.
Do you know what font that is? Mike, you should know. You programmed this. And you should know what color that is.
Oh, cyan, of course, but is that Hoth, right?
It sure is.
Yeah. This saber actually comes with it stock, but also, Aaron, I wanted to show you. So remember I told you negotiators on here? So this is what happens.
Which
I might
one?
have to mute, not the current one. I might have to mute it though. Hold on. It's loud, right? Hold on. So look, it's blue, right? But when I move it, it turns rainbow. I don't get it. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but it, otherwise, I'm gonna fix that later after the review.
So Zero thought he missed the stream. Zero, you haven't missed the stream. We're still live, brother.
Yeah, and what's good, you can always go back, dude.
So
Yeah.
I know Mr. Johannan has commented cyan. So we have a lot of people that are going for the cyan blade. Liam is a green man.
That used to be me. That used
He's-
to be my color, but I don't know. I just kind of came into the blue.
Well, now Liam's our little green friend.
Little green friend. Nah, Brandon has to do it.
No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
And Chris Selman is our not so little green friend. He's also green. So
Yeah,
anybody else in the comments, if you want to let us know what your
purple. I like that, Cole.
Cole
There you go,
Cole is
Cole.
purple.
He wants to walk the line that Mace Windu walked.
He
Yeah.
does.
He's a bad
does.
mofo. He's a bad mofo.
He's the Mace.
Scrot. Mofo.
You need to do an Austin Powers font.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously, Brandon needs to get his kitty in his lap and be petting the kitty.
in the demo.
Mr. Finley.
in the demo.
But you have
He's
to
gonna-
refer to him as Mr. Bigglesworth.
Mr. Biggles. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he's something else.
Obi-Wan TPM, light blue for light side.
Ian is on here. Ian,
Oh,
get
hey,
up.
Ian.
Get in here, Ian.
Dude, I can't wait for my 18650 battery to show up so I can start.
Playing
Mhm.
with that.
I wanna know what the Golden Harvest sounds like, in direct, as opposed to this monster here.
Hostile detected. Acquiring target. This isn't good.
Nice.
You gotta love it.
You're wasting your time.
Oh, wasting your
Love
time.
Speaking of, Aaron, I got an email today. I don't know if I'm allowed to speak about this, but I got an email today about something to do with your font and a saber. No?
An email?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. Did I share something? Oh snap! The Jawas.
Open. It's open.
Yeah, I went. Dude, I saw that. I clicked in there. I signed up so quick.
No, I got an email today that it's open. I don't know if pre-order's open, but it was like another email, like something like an update or something.
Yeah, I
So-
went ahead and clicked the link and put my name down, and they're ready to rock and roll, man. I'm so excited.
I'm in there too. I'm part of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
I have
so
no idea. I have no idea what y'all are talking about. so-
okay. So
It's so it's a Clone Wars Obi Saber being done by Jawa's Junkyard.
Oh,
let me
And
send you a picture.
They're
later.
featuring my negotiator on it. My new negotiator.
the complete edition.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Only.
If it's not,
And
it's not a
and
fourth
that
font. If it's not complete.
freaking hilt is ridiculously well done. It is ridiculously well done, and I cannot wait to own it. So,
Have you seen
So-
the CCs that's been circulating around everywhere? The Yoda hilt, the teeny tiny little Yoda hilt
oh jeez,
from CC Sabers.
really?
Yeah, like it is.
Careful,
when you're
Cole.
talking, when you're talking about like
Wait.
this being proportional to the average human being, the size
Oh,
of this CC
yeah.
saber is proportionate to how big Yoda would actually be.
It's like
No
half your. It's
kidding.
like half that.
Yeah,
saber.
yeah.
Jeff.
Like legit, the hilt is probably about that big from the bottom to the bottom of this Aaron, from where my hand is.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Just a side
It's
note, Jeff.
tiny.
Check the podcast email.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just sent you like the email. I forwarded like the Obi-Wan thing.
All right, so I got to ask you guys a question since now we're in free time. Have you
Okay.
guys seen that really quick trailer of the Old Republic remake?
Yes, 100%. Oh my god.
How you,
100%.
how you feeling about that?
Hype.
I'm Mike and I were actually talking about this earlier today. We feel like now is the perfect time to do a Repulse Collectibles Old Republic font review package, especially
So-
now that I have the CFX Saber.
So I've done like a all-around one before for a lot of stuff that you released for us. I didn't do like standalone, like only the Darth Revan or only, let's say, Trey or something. So that I might start doing right now. But especially with Darth Revan, like I have, I can do 2 sabers, whatever. So that'd be cool.
I don't know if they're planning on remaking the second one,
Hmm.
but just in light of what Sam had mentioned earlier about George Lucas building a world, a galaxy. Part of what made that so amazing for so many different fans, first of all, I have to give credit where credit is due, were the writers of all of the books because there are so many books I never even read, honestly. So there's universes of that, and then we started seeing video games. You know, early 2000s. You know, we had Knights 1, we had Knights 2. I don't think in the history of my video game playing, and I've been a nerd my whole freaking life, I've been invested in Final Fantasy, Secret of Mana, Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest, like that, Breath of Fire. That is time that I am invested. All right. Old Republic and especially Knights 2, I lost myself in. That was something I was so hyped about because I was already freaking out because of Obi-Wan. I love Chris. Freaking out over Star Wars. I you know, Episode 2 had just hit the theaters. You know, the hype was coming down from that. People were getting really excited about Episode 3, and then they just dropped Knights. And back then I didn't care. It was Star Wars and I was just going crazy. Never in my life have I ever been so lost. I was lost in it. I love Kreia, Darth Treya. So much to the point that making that font was very, very difficult because she's got so many profound things that she says, and I'm not gonna light the thing up right now, but I can listen to Kreia talk for hours and hours and hours, and I did. I made sure that, like, I think I did 3 or 4 playthroughs of Knights 2, and made sure to have every option, you know, with her, and I talked to her about everything.
Nice.
She was. God, and this is kind of what makes me a little nervous about this new remake. There was some magic in those first 2 games, and I really, really, really hope they don't change the script at all, or they can rehire some actors or something. It was so freaking well done, you know?
Yeah.
You know,
See,
someone made a comment earlier, and I don't remember who it was. Maybe I think it was Jeremy who had mentioned, you know, that the battle system he's hoping is kind of brought like Final Fantasy VII Remake. And as much as I love that game, Max, as much as I love that game, and I really do,
Hey, Max.
that battle system and Final Fantasy 15's battle system, I'm not the biggest fan of, and I don't think Knights needs that. I honestly believe Knights needs to stick to its tradition. Actually, Knights was built on the D20 system, the Dungeons & Dragons D20 RNG rolling system, but it was computerized.
Is that like
They need to
Final Fantasy VII?
No. It was turn-based, yes, but not like Final Fantasy turn-based. It wasn't like, ba-ding, and you choose fight, and then, you know, they take their turn.
I was like married to that game, like as a kid.
As was I.
Mean, but I have played KOTOR, and I know what you're talking about. There are differences.
Yeah, Knights was revolutionary. Actually, Knights was a more advanced version of a lot of people might remember Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights. They used that rolling system. So when they brought it into Star Wars, it was genius, and you could put stats where you wanted them, so you could have bonuses to like your strength, your wisdom, your intelligence, whatever, and it would modify your force powers. And please, for the love of God, I really hope they don't deviate from that. It was. Knights is something that does not need to be fixed because it's not broken. Remake, absolutely. Update the graphics. Give us the 4K. It's 60 frames. Put it on the. I'm surprised they went with PS5. I honestly thought it was coming to Xbox Series X, but
that's what I thought.
No, they did PS5. So,
and I'm okay with that.
And PC.
But,
so,
see, and I never
holy crap.
played the original PC. Because I wasn't a PC gamer.
Yeah.
So I never played Knights of the Old Republic 1 or 2. So I am really,
It's time.
really looking forward to getting it on a PlayStation-based console because I'm a
Good luck, Cole.
diehard PlayStation 5.
Listen, dude, while you
PlayStation
wait,
fan, so-
you can still play it. I don't know if it is available for PC. I know on iDevices, iPhone, you can just download it. It's an iPhone game. I mean, yes, that's not the
Yeah.
same, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can.
And I've actually thought about downloading the iPhone or the Apple version. So
Mhm.
and
I'm
giving
telling
it a go.
you, Knights and Knights 2 were a perfect storm. They really were. And people complain about Knights 2, but when you really get in the meat and potatoes of it, it was a complete game. It was well executed. If you really know your lore, it was well done. It was so well done, and I really hope this remake is done nice. I'm actually surprised that that nobody had a quick, a remake Revan font put out yet based upon the one ignition that we heard. I'm like, okay,
Right?
I know something's coming. I could just go update my own Revan font
Yeah,
if
right.
I wanted to.
New ignition.
Yeah, but your Revan font is, I mean, yours is, and Mike and I were talking about this earlier today, actually, as well. You've said in the past that, like your Return of the Jedi Luke, Daddy Issues Complete, available at repulsecollectibles.com. Sorry. Shameless plug.
Well, that's why you have the ticker on the bottom.
But we've talked about this in the past where you said there's only so much source material for Return of the Jedi Luke, which is 100% true. And there's only so much source material for Revan. But the difference between your font and Brandon's font, which I love both of, by the way, there's little minute differences, which is what makes it your own.
But ours aren't the same because there was like 3 Revans.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you have something there's only a certain amount of source material from, you change one minute detail and it makes it your own compared to somebody else. And that's what makes it stand out, right? Like how many Anakin fonts are there, but you went with doing Kyle Lusignan as the voice of Anakin, and having recently rewatched Revenge of the Sith and having that font on the Saber Trio, he really did a phenomenal job with nailing every single one of those lines. So, you're muted.
Without a doubt. Yeah, sorry.
So.
Without a doubt. You know what the best part about like rearranging my setup is? Nobody sees behind me anymore.
Well, I was going to say we don't have to watch your kids try and sneak by anymore.
Yeah, they're little creepers, aren't they?
Although it was pretty funny watching your kids trying to stay out of the camera sight.
Oh man.
Ian and Max.
What's up, guys? Yeah.
Oh,
welcome. See, I'm the oldest guy in the room, but Ian, you got to push your glasses up, man, because you're making me look young. You look distinguished. You look distinguished.
I'm missing. These are my backups.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you guys kind of missed the round robin that we did, so we're going to come back to you two. Max,
I'll be right back, but I'm listening.
Max, personal lightsaber color for you.
Blue.
Okay. Ian?
Honestly, green.
All right. Not what I would have expected out of Ian, actually. I would have expected purple, but
I was gonna say purple.
Yeah. And honestly, Max, I wouldn't have gone with blue. I probably would have picked orange for you.
Orange. That's interesting.
I don't know. Orange lightsabers aren't really that common. I know they're in Fallen Order and stuff, and they're cool. Like, I definitely agree the orange saber in Fallen Order is one of the coolest sounding ones. But
Right.
blue's always been sort of my favorite color, so it's like I often associate with blue. Blues with characters like Anakin, Luke. You know, it's Obi-Wan. I forget about Obi-Wan. Bunch of characters, you know, that it's associated with, and I just love that shade of blue. At least the ones in the prequels, that really dark, like solid blue. And not saying the cyan of of A New Hope or the Arctic blue of Empire is bad. There's just something about that like solid blue color, especially on like an actual saber, like on the saber trios and stuff. When you turn on,
see him, and we all did ours. I don't know if you caught it, but so it is that cyan.
it's still a really nice color. Like any shade of blue is great, but my the solid blue of like the prequels, especially in like episode 3, when you have the contrast of Mustafar, how it's blue and orange, those are complementary colors. So the blue sticks out a lot more in that fight in particular.
Yeah, I got this. You were here? You weren't here last weekend, were you?
No, I was out with dinner for the Labor Day weekend. My family took me out to dinner that night. So
I bought this off of Mike. Actually, Mike was looking to buy his Fallen, his Ultimate Works from the box store. So he gave me first crack at purchasing his Aaron from him, and it actually showed up a week ago. And yeah, so I've actually in the last week I've been playing with it so much I've killed the battery multiple times and had to charge it multiple times.
That's me too.
Just because I'm having so much fun with it. Because it does.
Did you get a blade plug with it or just the blade?
No, Mike sent me everything that he originally bought with it. The blade plug. Actually, the blade.
While you're getting that out, I got work in the morning, so I'm gonna run.
So the NeoPixel blade plug, and it's dope. Forrest, as always, we love you. Thanks for hanging out.
Of course.
So do you, quickly before you take off, do you have your guest lined up for next Saturday?
Yes. Next Saturday, we're going to have Daniel Rossard from Arc Saber Sabersmith.
Okay.
He is actually the constructor of the Fours saber.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I know what we're talking about.
And he's also, in my opinion, one of the best in the game.
Nice.
Excellent.
So we'll have him, and then I'll tell him, Mike, you and Jeff, and I want to get Aaron for pre-screen on either Tuesday or Wednesday if either of you guys are available.
I'm available.
All right.
Cool. All right, boys. Y'all have a great night. Good to see everybody.
So
good night.
quickly,
Nice seeing you, man.
before you take off, I really want to tell you who we've got lined up for our next stream.
Just message me on Instagram or something.
Oh,
I thought you were not
no,
gonna
I'm not going to tell you, but I want to tell you.
Yeah, we won't tell you.
And I'm just going to put it this way: you're going to lose your freaking mind.
Oh, cool. You got Mark Hamill, huh?
Yeah, I wish.
We got the guy.
Close.
Oh,
Close.
very nice.
Very close.
I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, dude.
Okay.
Peace.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, so we're not gonna tell him. We're not gonna mention it on stream, but we might talk about it after at the after party.
That's true. Yeah, we might.
And
We will.
and everybody is going to want to be there for this one. So Ian, Max, how's school going?
Been doing good. I've been pretty much booked with work. I've still got work to do right now, as a matter of fact. But some of it's not due till like next week. But There's one assignment that I'm working on. It's a big project, but it's my teacher's going to cut me some slack on it, so it's all good. But other than that, yeah, it's been busy, but for the most part, I've been having a lot of fun. So
that's good. You got to not only go to school but enjoy going to school. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yeah, a lot of my classmates are really talented too. Some of the I can't show it because I have to wait till like the semester's over. There's sort of a rule about that. But when the semester's over, I'll show you everything I've done so far. Because what I've done so far, it's been a blast. I'm loving one of my classes, and I can't wait to show you guys how much I've done. Because it's great. I'm having a lot of fun.
No, that's good. That's good. Oh my good Lord. So even though he's at work, protecting our country, we have, in one way, shape, or form, Mr. Aaron Yohannan.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Can't really have my camera on, and I'm still at work, but I definitely wanted to pop in for a little bit.
We are glad you are here, my friend. So, Ian, what's been going on in your life lately?
Work, mostly work.
Have you got your staff together?
I haven't put it together, but I do have both sabers.
What the heck, dude?
I mean, I could put it together right now.
Let's do it. Do it.
All right.
Link, where are you?
What's up, bud?
Where's the backup on the do it?
The what?
The do
He wants you to say,
do it.
Oh, that. Sorry. Do it.
Yeah.
See, because we can't see you, you have to be like our in-house voice actor.
Kill him. Kill him now.
So like I said, I was watching Revenge of the Sith the other night with my kids, again for the millionth time. And all these conversations that we've had about Palpatine and the looks on his face and the noises that he makes, and I can't unsee it.
Yeah, it's
like
it's just so funny. You like your brain like looks for it now.
Well, and I mean all the scenes with Palpatine in it for Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi are now ruined. I'm just
Ironic.
like, oh.
He could
like
save
the pause
others from death, but
like
not himself.
the pause between henceforth you will be known as Darth Vader. And the pause is so long. I'm like,
dude, and he straight up has this like zombie like
right?
You know, it's like Vader.
Speaking of zombies, did you guys see the new What If episode?
No.
Man, I'm
Never
so behind
watched
on
it.
all the shows.
No, I started trying to watch it with my kids. They were like, "Dad, this is too scary," so I had to shut it off.
Oh, that's
so I haven't finished watching it, but I'm actually pretty stoked to finish watching it. So
the zombie episode was really good.
yeah, they've been nailing it out of the park with this What If series for sure.
I'm waiting on Visions, man.
Yeah, that's on the 22nd.
I'm all over. Actually, you know what's funny is I'm actually going to be on vacation, but I'll probably be able to watch it in the evenings, like once we're in the hotel room chilling or whatever. Like I'm going to be tuned into that, but because like all through vacation, we're kind of booked. We got a lot of stuff we're doing, which is all fun stuff. But like, yeah, I think in the evening I'm going to be all up on that because Visions looks like. I haven't watched. Okay, look, I'm terrible, and it's really just because my life is so busy right now. But I haven't seen like any of the Marvel shows: WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki. Freaking, I'm sure I'm missing like 2 or 3 others. I haven't seen any of them, and or the Bad Batch because I really don't care to watch it. If I ever do watch it, it'll be much later. But like Visions, I'm kind of like making exceptions.
Right. Well,
a little bit more hits home for me, you know.
So I can't find it anymore, but If you follow Disney Plus on Instagram, they actually released a schedule for the upcoming Star Wars stuff, with Visions being in September, Book of Boba Fett being
December.
2022, starting in December of 2021.
Okay.
At Obi-Wan is 2022. Mando season 3 is 2022.
Like the end of 2022, I think.
Yeah. So, but they released like a schedule of when stuff was going to come out, and I meant to screenshot it and I didn't, and now I can't find it.
Oh, there's Ian. He's got it connected.
Dope.
Nice.
So
Dark side.
that's sick.
Yeah. Oh, so there's basically no curve at all if you connect them.
No, and that's the thing, is it takes that curved piece
Yeah.
off the end.
Which I think it looks better as a staff, but that's just my personal take.
Well, and that's what he wanted to get the second hilt for, was so that he could make it a staff. So
That's crazy,
and
man.
And it looks dope.
Hell yeah. Hells yeah. Oh, I've got all kind of Saber stuff in the background, but it'll be many months before I get those going. I sent one MHS hilt off to Russell over at Wade Sabers. That's a custom project that'll be revealed towards the end of the year. And then I still have this damn MHS short staff that I want to get something done with, but I have yet to figure out what that's going to be.
Yeah, sure. Give me a second, Isaac.
So Isaac and I have been talking this week, and Isaac has a lightsaber problem.
Oh.
Yep. What's going on?
Oh, he has way too many lightsabers in his collection.
Yeah. Oh, I thought there was something wrong with his saber.
No, he's looking for all those unicorn hilts now, and I'm like, dude, how many sabers do you have? He's like, I think he said something like 17. I was like,
hang on, let me.
I don't have that many.
My wife would kill me if I had 17.
Yeah.
I've never had more than this. Honestly, man, minus the ones I just sold. What do I have? 1, 2. I have 2. I've never had more than 3 fully installed at any one given time, like ever.
That's what I have now. Yeah.
I have 2 right now that are fully installed with CFXs.
Nice, man.
There you go.
Looks good, Ian. I like that.
As per request.
And I
That's down from 38.
Isaac says that's down from 38.
Oh God, my head started hurting.
Yeah, that's dedication.
I had too many CFXs, so I had to share mine.
Well, I mean, I've got three baselet LGTs, a Force Effects, a Master Replica, my Electrum, and my Saber Trio. So she says too many. I say not enough.
That's what Isaac would say.
Yeah.
Hey, gents. Sorry I got to do this, but I got to run. So it was good. It was good hanging out for a little bit.
Well,
too.
Yeah, it was for the little bit that we had you. It was a pleasure. So,
Take it easy, brother.
If you can pop back after we go off the air, because I assume you're still going to be in the comments. If you can pop back after we go off the air, that way you can kind of be involved in the discussion of who Mike and I are going to have next.
For sure.
On the show.
I should be getting off work around here in about like an hour and 15 minutes ish.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. See you guys.
See you, dude.
Okay. And then there were 5.
I'm just happy I could make it to this one.
Right?
Yeah, it's the first time I've made it to the halftime show.
No, it's
There you
not,
go.
is it?
Well,
Really?
not
Oh
the
yeah,
last
because
time.
you're usually working till like 11 on Friday nights.
Yeah. Or cleaning, usually.
Mhm.
Right.
But we got a dishwasher now, so that makes it a little easier on the guys, the cooks.
Right.
That's good. That is very impressive.
Most impressive.
Right. So some people have no desire to watch Visions. You know what? I mean,
It is what it is.
That's how I feel about freaking Bad Batch.
well, and
Personally.
here's my take on it. I'm not necessarily an anime fan, but I'll give it a shot because it's Star Wars.
And that right
Right.
there is why I think a lot of people will still watch it because like I'm in this weird in between place. Like I talk about this with coworkers, family. I'm like, I'm at this age and like when I grew up and what I grew up with where I'm literally like on the fence of both sides. Like I am not a big anime person, but there's stuff about art and gaming that does pull me in. And I love a good RPG and a good story. And then, so like even if Visions didn't have force powers and lightsabers, like like if I saw that trailer but they didn't put the Star Wars name on it and there was no lightsabers and lightning, it would still look pretty interesting. Now, at the same time, I don't go out of my way to watch anime. It's not like there's a lot of that not all of it, but there's a big portion of it that is, the Japanese culture. They're really into the soap opera, like really drama driven storytelling styles, which, again, is it's just a form of, it's a medium, right? It's a medium of storytelling. And a lot of people really like that. That's never been my forte. But again, the visual aspect and how it's presented, it's like, it's like comic books or, and I love that kind of stuff. So I find relation there in those aspects. So and then if it has a good OST or just good sound design in general, you've already got me hooked, right? No matter what it is. So, but yeah, Visions, because it's Star Wars, just that alone is like, yes, I have like injected in my veins. Like I need this. Like I don't even care. Just do it. But that's it is kind of hypocritical because on the same hand, I say, Bad Batch, like I have no interest in, but it's Star Wars technically, right? And I'm like, I'll probably give it a chance eventually, but it just doesn't revolve around it revolves around characters that I've seen before in Clone Wars that I was just puzzled as to why they ever even went with that set of characters to build a whole show off of. To me, it just, so anyway, whatever, ranting. But I'm in this weird spot where like I don't get anime the same way today's culture does, but I do see myself drawn to it in a lot of different ways. Just maybe not the whole super dramatic part about it in their storytelling.
Right.
And it just depends on what it is. Like Pokemon, like people that are about 5 years younger than me, it was their whole world, man. That's what they grew up with. That was the stuff. And I was just outside of that, so I really don't jive with it, right? But it just depends, man. I think it just depends on what it is. I'll say this though: those audiobooks, man, those audiobooks are popping off.
I'm of the same mindset as you are. Like, I mean, I like when Fours and Max and guys start talking about Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's just like phew, right over my head. Like I have no clue, because that's not up my alley. I mean, you want to talk Star Wars, you want to talk Marvel, you want to talk DC, I'm game. Anime, I never really got into it.
You know what's
But
so crazy, Jeff? You know, and you've got 10 years on me. Not quite. I'm 30. I'll be 37 soon. You're mid 40s, and I'm like, it's so funny because in your day and even in my day, it's not like anime wasn't around. We did, you know, we had Akira, we had Gundam, we had Transformers and Voltron, we had anime.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, and even Dragon Ball, you know, even Dragon Ball. But it just didn't seem to explode in Western audiences the way it has in the last 15, 20 years, you know? And I think that's where you and I are similar. But again, for me, I'm younger than you, but for me, that's why I call myself like on the fence, because I did grow up seeing a ton of it.
Right.
But I'm not in the same age group as the current group that were kind of up and coming when it exploded in the West. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the way that it exploded for people in my age group is like when me and Aaron talk about all the Super Nintendo RPG games that we used to play, like Final Fantasy II, you know, Secret of Mana, all these crazy games that, you know, they just, you know, that was our, you know, I don't know. Aaron and I are very different. It's weird because he's older than me, but he's super into the anime stuff, and I'm just not like that. And it's so there is a little bit of a contrast there, but he and I do agree with the gaming side of things. It's like we got our fix a little bit, but yeah, the way it exploded in the last 15, 20 years is just on a different level, you know?
Well, and I think the guys that are doing the anime that's exploded in the last 15 to 20 years are from our generation and were influenced by Thundercats, Transformers, Silverhawks, Voltron, all that stuff that was out in the early to mid 80s. And they were influenced by all that stuff.
Is that anime though?
And that's where you get that stuff that started to explode, you know, about mid.
You know what
to
I
late
find
90s.
so interesting? Here's something that I find so interesting from an artistic standpoint. You know, there's so many, and this is just from a guy who's not into anime in the general sense, but still recognizes what I'm about to say is that most people that are into anime today look back at the stuff that Jeff and I grew up with, like Akira and similar titles. And I'm just saying that because I'm, you know, that's probably one of the only ones I know about, you know, Gundam, whatever you want to call it, the ones that existed back in the, you know, 80s and stuff, and maybe some stuff from the 70s, that they look at that like pinnacle, like OG anime, like the stuff that like artists today, anime artists today, like base. I've seen so many things like where you look at anime TV shows and stuff, and like interviews, behind the scenes stuff, whether it was like for Dragon Ball Super or something like that, where they're talking about their inspiration from like Voltron and Akira and Gundam and the original stuff, and they always reference those big titles. And the interesting thing that I found is when you look at the art from modern day stuff to back then, the styles and the execution is totally different, and it just looks sick. Like from an artistic standpoint, I truly appreciate the way stuff used to look in anime, and there's a lot of stuff today that builds on that and even imitates it, and then there's a lot that doesn't. You know, One Punch Man and One Piece are some stuff that I've seen artistically. The stuff that they do with those shows is like, you know, back in the day, those were foreign concepts that people had no idea how to even do things like that. And It's actually really like, because I'll shut up in like a couple seconds. Sorry. What blows my mind about it is you think about the way a movie is shot, like a real life, like Star Wars or The Matrix or whatever, like in real life, when movies are created, the cinematography standpoint, right? How the camera angles are, how the director positions the cameras and the movements. And then you look at freaking anime and those barriers are gone. There is no limitation on how the camera angles itself and at what speed it moves and in what environment it exists. So you start to see stuff like what One Piece does and some of these other Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter, is that what it's called? Demon Hunter?
Demon Slayer. I
Demon
believe.
Slayer, that's the one. You look at the type of camera movements that there's things that they do with that real life just can't do. And it is really fascinating to look at visually. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
I mean, you have to look at anime 20, 25 years ago compared to anime today and your actual medium that it's being done in, right? Like 20, 25 years ago, it was all done on paper with ink and a stop motion camera, and nowadays you're digitally rendering it in a computer.
Yeah.
So that's why the stylistic influences between stuff in the late 70s, 80s into the 90s is so stylistically is I think different than the stuff that we're seeing now, is because of the actual paper versus digital medium. And I think Max is kind of agreeing with that, because I mean that is his major. So I mean,
it's
if
cool
anybody,
to watch.
if
It's
any,
cool.
if
It's all
anybody,
cool to watch,
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, animation is animation. Just the dedication that it took in late 70s, early 80s, even before that, like back in the original Disney days when you had Steamboat Willie, and the dedication that it takes to draw one frame and then start drawing the next frame and line everything up and then shoot it one frame at a time to play back, 30 seconds,
what's a
30
really
seconds worth of video.
There's two video games that are a great modern day example of that. The best one being Cuphead. The next one being Dragon Ball Fighters. But that's a little bit different in the way it's created. But Cuphead, specifically, if you're not familiar with Cuphead, that's a video game where every single frame is hand drawn in the 1930s style of cartoon animation.
Right.
And it is actually a quite fun and very difficult game. And they are working on the sequel. It'll probably come out next year, or the year before, or after, or something like that.
It's DLC content, more or less, but yeah, it's like a sequel.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. But that game is one of the only examples I know about in modern times that it's literally every frame of that game is hand drawn in a style that people have long forgotten about. It's pretty interesting case study.
Right.
So this was nothing to do with Star Wars. That was great.
No, I mean, it started off with, because I mean, we were on the topic of visions and I mean, to kind of curve back towards visions. I mean, realistically, whether it's anime or not, it's Star Wars. It has lightsabers. It has, I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean,
I'm super stoked.
We waited a season and a half of The Mandalorian and loved it, every minute of it, before we even saw a lightsaber. Right?
And that goes right back to that audiobook I'm listening to. It's not even to do with Jedi or Sith characters for this one I'm listening to, and I'm really impressed by, like, I'm really getting into it. I'm like, dang, this is, it was a slow build up with the books I've listened to so far for High Republic. The very first book was just a snooze fest, but second book I read, third book I read, and now this one, I'm like, yo, okay, this is not terrible. I haven't read any of the youth ones that they put out or the comics. Just I think one, like, what are the teen novel, like one of those, and then the two adult ones, and then this one now is the one they just released called Tempest Runner. It's about one specific character of the Nihil, and yeah, it's like, so far it's got some really good world building, man.
Well, and I mean, like, there are certain books out there that even focus on characters that we know, where there's hardly a lightsaber ignited in the entire book. Like Revan, I read the Revan book, and there's
isn't it amazing?
It's phenomenal, and there's not a whole lot of lightsaber stuff in that book. And then when I'm in the middle of Ahsoka right now, and
so good.
by
the way,
this is an audiobook?
It is, by the way.
The ones I'm not reading aren't, but
so check this out. I'm gonna finish the Tempest Runner book that I'm listening to now, the audiobook. I only do audiobooks. When I'm done, Ahsoka, that novel, is on my list because the audiobook is narrated by Ashley Eckstein. Come to find out.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes.
Yes, I just found that out like 2 days ago.
I finished mine 2 days.
All right. Well, I'm gonna stop
Nice.
reading it and start listening.
Start listening.
Yeah, it's the next book on my audiobook list.
Do yourself a favor, start from the beginning again, because she just brings it alive.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, because like I'm probably, I would say, close to about a third of the way through, and I'm loving it so far. But
so
a third of the way through the book, we haven't even we've no lightsabers at all. So and I'm kind of loving that. Like, you get characters and you can imagine what is actually happening. Like, you can see it in your mind's eye. And that's what I love about Star Wars is they're just so, with all the books, audiobooks included, they're just so descriptive that you can picture that
immersive,
and know,
right?
yeah, like it really takes you into that world.
So I've never heard an audiobook before from Legends, from anything. So what like, I want to just, let's say, pick Ahsoka and do it, but like, should I just start with a specific one? Honestly, we talked about this before. I don't know. Was it about Plagueis or? Dude,
So I got into the audiobooks because my brother had been doing it for a long time with a different genre entirely. Like, he likes espionage and fantasy,
cool
stuff like that. But he was like, yeah, and I gave it a shot. And I was like, there's all these like Legends material and Star Wars books that I've just would love to read, but I just never have any time. And he's like, dude, if do audiobook, then you're doing it at your commute to and from work, and you'll be surprised how fast you blow through them. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I finally did it. Star Wars does something that I don't think a lot of other audiobooks do. Because I pulled up a sample of A Song of Ice and Fire. So the Game of Thrones. I pulled up a sample of the first book, and it's just a guy narrating. That's pretty much it. Star Wars is it's like turning on a movie and just listening. You have all the background noise, the environmental noise, the blasters going off, the Sith lightning going off. When they force push somebody into a wall, you hear their freaking bones crack. Like, it's super immersive. And all the Star Wars books I've listened to so far have been that way. So what I did, and what I would say, if to answer your question, is just find that character or book or story that you've probably wanted to listen to the most, and just go, like, there's no screw the order, right? Like, it's like, what are you really excited to like find out about? You know?
I guess one thing I remember, there was a trio of books that were famous, because I'm not too big on legends on books. I never really read the books, but I know some of the stories, like like with Mara Jade and like all that, after Return of the Jedi stuff. Where I don't want to be controversial right now, but
I think what you're
I don't want
what
to say what I want to say, but basically, I don't want to start getting into sequels. But basically, the three books that are sort of like the trilogy, but not. I'll just
I think what you're thinking of is the original Thrawn trilogy.
Maybe it's that. I don't know what it is.
With Heir to the Empire.
That's what I think. It's Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the
So
Empire.
if they have the audiobook for that, I'll
That
definitely-
is a phenomenal series, Mike. I read
That's
those
on my list.
years ago.
It's on
I
my
read
list.
I read those when they first came out.
I wonder if they have the like immersive audiobook for that. But
Again,
whatever, either way,
All the audiobooks are like that, Mike. They're all like have all the full production value. The only
I'll
thing
check
I
'em
will
out.
caution, is a lot of the audiobooks are abridged. And that just means shortened. So like the best example I can give is the one I listened to before Tempest Runner, which is the one I'm on now, was I, Jedi for Corin Horn. And I wanted to read that book specifically for his dual phase saber and how he created it.
Right.
And literally, the abridged audiobook literally skips over all that detail. And I was so ticked off. And I was just like, man, I mean, I've listened to other audiobooks that were abridged from Star Wars, and like it kind of made sense because some of them can be a little like long-winded. But now I'm going back and questioning, like, because I listened to the entire 9-book series of Legacy of the Force, which is like Jason Solo's ascendancy to Darth Caedus.
Okay.
Caedus is how they pronounce it, I guess.
I've heard of
Caedus.
this. I know the
And-
characters, but
Well, that whole series is abridged, and I'm like, what else did I miss? Now that I'm questioning it now, I'm like, damn, and I don't
Should I
have
read
time
the
to go
books?
back and read it.
yeah, exactly.
So so that's my only like caution. And the sad thing is there's no other option. There's no other source or other rendition done in an audiobook. Like what you get is what you get. So that's the only downside potentially. If it's abridged, then you kind of risk missing out on who knows what. But honestly, man, at the end of the day, like I said, the production value is like so incredible.
Cool.
Especially if you like sound and
Oh,
all
yeah.
that extra stuff. It's really good.
100%. I'll check that out. What do you use? The Amazon?
Audible. Yeah.
Audible.
That's what I was
And
using.
I have the subscription, which isn't too bad, but like you get a free credit every month, and a credit is good to buy a book, and it doesn't matter how much that book is. A credit gets you that book, so a lot of times you end up saving a pretty good amount of money. And then the credits themselves are like $11 and some change a piece. But again, there's so many books that are more expensive than that in the first place. So there's a lot of deals out there and a lot of ways
Heir to the
do it,
Empire.
but yeah.
So I don't think that there's an audio book for that trilogy. Just because
Says audiobook right there.
Well, yeah,
But
but it also says free with your Audible trial. So there is an audio book.
There's
Sweet.
all the Thrawn stuff, even the new ones have audiobooks.
Yeah.
Cool.
But,
All right,
I mean,
I'll
this
check this out.
this was released almost 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it's in my opinion one of the best Legend series novels.
Cool.
It is absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I'll check it out. 1992. That goes back.
Yeah.
And they rewrote
I was still in
the
high
new Thrawn
school.
trilogy is the third book is coming out either at the end of this year or early next year or something. But the
Oh.
new Thrawn, there's a brand new Thrawn trilogy, so pay attention to the which one you're looking at.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They were all written by Timothy Zahn.
Yeah, same author too,
Cool.
which is crazy.
Like here's the next book in the series is The Last Command.
Yeah,
Which was 1994.
I can't believe he's still around writing these books, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Thrawn Ascendancy is the new trilogy by him.
And then, yeah, so this is part of the new Thrawn series.
But the third book in that hasn't come out yet. I don't think so.
Ascendancy?
Yeah,
the newest Thrawn trilogy. I thought the third book wasn't out yet.
Nah, it's not coming out till November. It looks like.
Right, that's right. Yep.
'Cause-
But anyway,
'cause
yeah.
this-
Look,
'cause
anybody
this
who likes
series-
Star Wars, if you like Star Wars and you want something to listen to on your commute to and from work every day, or you just have free time to listen, dude, seriously, like, it's like turning on a movie and just listening, and you're getting all that production value, man. It's pretty. And then some of these narrators, I don't know what kind of range Ashley Eckstein has, but like, there's two names you'll see on most of the Star Wars stuff for narration. Not all the time, but these guys you'll see a lot is Jonathan Davis and Mark Thompson. And those guys both have incredible range in terms of like what they do with their voice to really get into a character and diversify.
Mhm.
Like, it's incredible the range they have. There was a different guy that did the Plagueis book, and he's fantastic too. I forget his name, but that dude's insane. But yeah, Mark Thompson, Jonathan Davis, you'll see those names a lot.
Cool.
Yeah,
Darth.
great stuff.
I think I'm about to dive into a crazy world.
It's
You're
worth
taking
it,
your
man.
first step into a larger world.
Look,
Yes.
I'm telling you,
That's
Mike's gonna
right.
come on the show next week. Mike's gonna come on the show next week and be like, "You ruined me. Thanks."
My wife hates me. She's about to divorce. Yeah.
I never listened to her because I'm listening to audiobooks.
She told me
That's
choose the
what
books
Obi-Wan.
or the sabers or the channel.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because of Obi-Wan.
And that's why I'll say this is not my fault. This is all. It's all because of Obi-Wan.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault. He's jealous. He's holding me back.
Right?
Pay for your insecurities, Anakin.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
It's outrageous. It's unfair.
It's
What's counsel at your age?
So, I haven't put Link's Old Republic font on here, but I mean, we're kind of in an Old Republic mood.
Welcome.
That font's loud on the Saber Trio.
Yeah, I've got the volume turned down below 80%.
Yeah, 65 is the best percent in my opinion to run
So-
the fonts.
Max, I've what's it called? Updated my speaker from the stock Vico to the Smuggler's Elite. What do you call it?
Smuggler's Outpost?
Elite. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like did some basic soldering and just updated it. But basically, this is 10% only. I don't really go higher. It's really loud. But can I even lower it? Oh, I cannot. Duh. I'll explain to you in a minute. Go ahead, Jeff, though, and whoever else wants to.
Technical difficulties?
I'll actually tell you why it's not going to work.
No,
my,
not the Saber
my
Trio.
SD card is in my computer right now.
Oh, it's all good.
Nice.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
Because even like on a Vecco, like that sucker's
Okay.
loud. It's God.
Isaac, do all of you own Saber Trio sabers?
I don't think Link owns one.
I don't think Link does, and I don't think Ian does, but
Let's see if that's
and I don't think Fours does either. And I only own one because of the Han Solo to my Chewbacca down below here.
Hold on a second. How do I? All right, I got it in.
On the Saber Trio is all that appealing, personally.
Hey, if
They really are, dude.
Is that one of Grayscale's fonts?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's loud.
that is loud.
Right?
I didn't hear a word Ian said.
And 10%.
That's at 10% volume. Oh my god!
I swear. Yeah. So when I first put it in, it just turns on to 100 or whatever. You know what? Maybe I had like 70 on my whatever in the file. So when I first like solared it and I turned it on, I was like, whoa! I was like, hold on. So the Graflex that I got before has the same speaker, and I learned to like tweak that down to like 30, 40, but it has a different resonance. You guys know, like everyone's different. So that the Graflex, like if I have the D-ring on, you could barely hear it. If I take it off, it's like that. But this is still just the way that the resonance is on Saber Trios. You guys know who have them. It's just like it's different than the Profi. Like the Profi, you could even hear it in the last two, the first only two that I did demos with Profi. You can hear like the difference. And I use the same mic, my lav mic, everything's the same. It's just, like clarity, and this still the same clarity, but way more bass, and not the bass that like, you crank it to 100 and it just like crackles it. You can go high, 28 millimeter, you can go high. I just don't go that high because I don't need it that loud. It's like super loud. 10% is just because like I really usually when I get to play with these, people are sleeping, including my little people, as in kids, I mean. And I just don't want to like wake people, but really like, yeah, like 30, 40, 50% is good with this speaker because I don't know, they just made it such a high threshold. Yeah, dude.
Wait, is the Saber silent or is your mic muted?
Me or
Jeff?
He has a good mic. I don't on his headset. I think that some things are.
I can mute the mic directly on my headset.
Oh, that's how you've been doing it. Because I'm like, wow. Nice.
The Force Awakens fonts sound awesome on this hilt.
What font is that?
It's the Flex Awakens by Kasif. I can pull up forces if you want me to.
Yeah, bring up the sequel villain.
Oh, I don't have the sequel villain. Damn. I still need to get that.
You got any of mine?
I got one right here, buddy.
Any of mine, Max?
I've got my commission. I've got your Stargate. I've got Terminator, Predator.
None of my new stuff?
New stuff. I haven't
cinematic collection?
No, not yet. I'm sorry.
That's my fault. I'm going to take care of that problem for you.
Oh, no. Whoa, no. I do actually. Hang on.
Confronting fear is the destiny of a Jedi.
I think I have your Darth Vader font.
Everyone's going nuts.
Okay.
I found it.
So this.
Sorry, what?
No, go ahead, Max.
Sorry, this thing's loud. I apologize.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a smooth swings for me.
So this is
cool.
This is a sequel villain by Fours.
Nice. Cool Blade profile.
What Blade profile is that?
That's the one I had in the past. I might have shown it.
Was it Nanobots?
Yes. So I just so when I sold that to Jeff, I loaded a bunch of these on for him. So He has them already, so. There you go.
Because I tried using Notabots and it wouldn't work on my Saber for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
forgot how I did it. I had to change something to it too. I forgot what I did to it though.
It looks so sick on camera, though.
Yeah,
in
it looks
real
awesome.
life better though. What
Yeah.
else? Oh, this one, Link. I can't get over this ignition. I've been playing around with this one.
Nothing's impossible.
For Ray, just the ignition. Just
I'm on the Jedi.
I don't know. It's just basic.
May the Force be with you.
That's New Horizon. New Horizon. I remember.
Yeah, I like that he went like a different way with it, like where the quotes are Luke, Leia talking and like saying, it's all coming together. I like that part of it.
Hell's ye.
Bringing it
Okay.
back.
So this is one of yours. This is one of yours, Link.
I'm thirsty. Go ahead.
I
one
can't
is this?
hear it.
Got nothing here either.
That's it. I'm gonna have to get you a Smuggler's Elite. No.
That sounds kind of like his Obi-Wan
It's,
font.
it's his headset mic that it doesn't really pick up too well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one is it, Jeff?
Oh, there we go. Anything?
You will be a Jedi.
Oh, that's
I
Obi.
promise.
Episode 1 Obi.
Obi. Yes,
Oh,
That
the
was
the
the
learner.
learner.
The learner.
his favorite
Yeah.
font.
You want to know a fun
That-
secret about that font?
What's that?
So the hum for Obi in episode 1 is really just a generic prequel sound. So the hum for the learner is a screen accurate, identical hum to the arena Obi hilt from the Dooku Anakin Obi-Wan scene in episode 2 is
Okay.
actually what that is. If you
Oh.
listen to that hum and then compare it to the movie with the arena hilt, it is 100% screen identical hum.
Nice.
Oh, that's probably the general actually that he's playing.
That one is now, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
general's its own thing.
He has 3. He has that one.
But
that
the
one.
learner, my episode 1 Obi font,
Yes.
that hum is from episode 2, the arena hilt actually.
And I
And
still
it's
have the
like-
original font.
And the original one's a different hum than that even. Yeah, that's it. That's actually kind of a mix of Battlefront and something else. The Once Your Emperor is some custom stuff. That's a lot of layers.
Layers.
The time has come.
Oh, baby. That was loud.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
coming from Mike's, man.
What's that?
No, I'm just talking about the font. Like, holy, that is loud.
I did a mic test today, guys, and I also did so on StreamYard because I have StreamYard too, like accounts. I did a mic test on the headset I always wear, like the Turtle Beach, and a regular iPhone, plugged into the computer, and for some reason this was like clearer than my headset, and I was like, that's weird, but I guess I'll use that tonight, and I did. So I don't know, but it picks up other stuff. So my headset really picks up like the area I'm in. This picks up like you were saying someone was doing like dishes, Link, or something. My wife was just getting something out of like a cabinet, and
yeah.
you heard that, and I'm like, see, that's another thing I don't like. But whatever. It's all good. Maybe you use this instead of a lav mic when I record stuff.
Hey Max, I'm about to send you something, and while we're all chit chatting, I'm gonna have you load it up and test it out.
So what I was trying to do, I was loading up more of
Sure. Let me.
Give me just. It's gonna take me a second to pull it up.
I was
Okay.
loading more of Sam's stuff. Sam from today.
Link, your butcher is still one of my favorite fonts. Just saying, Isaac.
Oh, thanks.
I agree with that.
He has that one.
That's
I
good.
love that Revan font.
It's a good one.
It's on the staff.
Oh,
See,
it is.
I didn't have it, so I didn't put it on for you, Jeff. I was
The
like,
butcher is
let me-
pretty
let me
crazy,
give
man.
you what you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
been
can't-
a while.
Well,
It's actually
yeah.
been a while since I made that one now.
I can't wait to do that one on a CFX.
I'm really curious. You know, I didn't really chime in on the remake stuff. For me, yes, of course, I'm like excited for it, but I'm not as hype as everybody else has been today, just simply because it was obviously a very simple, quick cinematic, enough to just get the juices flowing. But that to me says that they are still very far off from it being ready.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we're gonna see this until probably 2023, maybe
Yeah.
the end of next year, maybe. But honestly, I don't think I'm gonna see it till 2023. And
They shouldn't rush
I-
it.
Yeah,
I think they'll
That's
release it on the 20th anniversary of the original game.
which is when is that supposed to happen?
The 20th anniversary will be 2023 sometime.
Oh, well, then that would make perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because the original one came out in 2003.
So of
Wow.
course I definitely would love it, and I'll be there when it launches. But you know, it's too early for me to. You know, it's kind of like when someone like Destiny 2, the video game. This is kind of the first time they've done it this way. Normally, when they do a pre-order for an expansion, it's like a few months away, like 2 to 3 months away typically. But they just dropped a pre-order for their next big expansion, and it is like 6 months away. And I'm like, bro, I'm not pre-ordering something, and you know, I'm not gonna get hype about it. It's 6 months away, dude. I'm like, so this remake for KOTOR, I'm like, well, number one, I already know what to expect if it's a remake, not a reboot, right? So all you're really gonna expect is updated visuals and voiceover, maybe. So that's one thing. I already know what it is. Number two, it's like, it's so far away, you know. So it's hard for me to get hyped about it right now. But yeah, of course, like when it comes out, I'm there, dude. Let's go, you know.
Right.
I'm
I just
uploading
can't-
said thing, Max. I'll get it to you just a sec.
I just can't wait to get everything that we're gonna get in the next few years, Star Wars wise.
Oh, you know what's a really good one too? I have on my favorite that sounds really good. Is All That Remains sounds really good. That's a good one.
That came out really good, man.
I have a
was
profile for that.
really, I'm really proud of how Forrest and I worked on that one together and how good it came out.
I probably have the same profile for that.
You do.
I just messaged you, Max.
I see it. I'm pulling it up now. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. You know what it is?
Yeah, I know. I saw the video. Hang on.
You already. Oh yeah, because you saw the zip file name. There you go.
Yeah, it's in the name, so it's like.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me just drag this.
So you can have fun with that.
I assume it's Purple Blade profile probably would be the best.
Probably, yeah. But
Okay.
it's up to you.
I'll just do purple because I think that'll fit the best. All right.
Interesting.
That's the best.
What you got there, Ian?
Yours.
Brevin? Oh, I can hear it. Okay. Yeah.
I only have 2 ribbons.
Yo, you should get that Darth Undeadu one from Bendu.
I want to
That I
get
made.
that one. Man, that one's going to scream.
That one's nasty. I know
I
Jeff
want
liked
Plo.
it.
I loved it. And I want Plo Koon as well.
Yo, the voice acting I had done for Undeadu was just crazy.
Who was that voice actor? Was he someone from Fiverr?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
The voice acting on that still gives me chills.
dude,
Yeah.
bro, it's like it's crazy.
It's too late. This is your end.
There, I'm working lines to send you.
All right. Let me load this up
What's
now.
that, Ian?
I'm working on a couple lines to.
For a project or?
Font commission.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, man. This weekend I'll be trying to get some more work done. A lot of the work on fonts probably won't get done until the beginning of October because there's so much going on right now with closing on a house and going on vacation and
Oh yeah. No, it's
Oh.
not a rush. I'm just letting you know I'm working on it, trying to do some research. Because how Maul sounds in canon is going to be very different from how he would as a Jedi.
right.
Because as
Yeah.
a Jedi, he's like, I'm always looking for revenge. He's
Yeah.
not going to sound anything like that.
Right. Right.
It just, his voice drips with rage and anger.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready, Max?
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, 1 sec.
Whoa.
Oh, that's neat.
It's very buzzsaw. Like it sounds like one of those like buzz saws, like when you're moving it.
Hey, did you get the prions on there?
Yeah, the prions are on here.
Okay.
Decepticon.
Those prions are crazy, man. Someone else is doing a saber. I can hear it. Something.
Not me. Ooh, I like that. What an ignition.
Yeah. It's like a prion ignition combo.
Oh, that's a cool sound right there.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
certainly your Transformers.
You know,
That
it's
is
funny.
dope.
This one
That's
was
sick.
something that so the first big font that I got popular for was one called Transform. It's technically still available on Saber Font, but oh, and it did get updated actually. But that's one of very few fonts that are still up there and will stay there. But I made many others over the years. I made the one after that was called Terraform, and then there was Xenoform, and then there was Transform Resurrection, and then but Transform Resurrection was like the last one that I did, but that was probably more than 5 or 6 years ago. And it's been a long time since I jumped back into that genre of font. And
I thought you had a Bumblebee inspired font.
oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay, forgive me. So right when I came out with Repulse Custom Sounds, like maybe a few months after I came out with it. So this was 2019. I came out with Bumblebee. And it was actually a commission for a guy. And we worked it out so I could be allowed to sell it too. But okay, so yeah, so it's been a year and a half ish. But Bumblebee is very character specific, whereas I wanted this one with Decepticon to be more generalized.
Right.
And I wanted to take some different liberties with it. So it really, like, there's a lot more layering going on in Decepticon than Bumblebee. There's a lot more custom layers built in. And especially with the smooth swings, it's just a whole different animal. And I really had a lot of fun. That was the first font I've worked on in a long time that I really got to kind of dig in and really enjoy playing around with my programs, you know. So I hope people that do buy it, I hope they really enjoy it, because it really has nothing to do with Star Wars. It's Transform's always been the way out there stuff that, you know, it's just so far removed, but it's just, I think it's because of the way it sounds. It's just, you can't help but, it's almost, what do they call that? When people like are peeling film off of a computer, like very satisfying, you know, it's just, when you're doing the swings and stuff, there's something very satisfying about any of these types of sounds. Like, it's a lot of fun for me.
Well, I mean, that font sounds phenomenal.
I think the most fun I had was with the Prions because it's funny. I did 3 of the custom fonts you can find at Starfall Sabers with Nick over there. 3 of those out of his 6 that he offers were built by me, and one he has called Ruin, and it's like this ultra deep Sith like Kylo hybrid thing. And he asked me, this was over a year ago. He asked me when I made him. He said, "I want you to do this ramp up Prion stuff, you know." And those turned out fantastic. I really should do some demos sometime to show those off. But then, and Nick has them on his YouTube somewhere. But then when I did the Bendu package for Bendu Armory, one of the biggest ones he wanted me to make was the Gundam one, which I called Mobile Suit. And he asked me specifically, he said, "I want this thing to have a ramp up. I want this thing, when you fire off this saber, it needs to be like a dadgum explosion. Like it needs to just epic build up and just blow. Like just like people when this thing ignites need to just lose their mind." And I was like, okay. and I think I accomplished that. And then, you know, when I started working on Decepticon, it was kind of the same thing. I was like, I think this is another opportunity to like really get crazy with the layering of the sounds and the buildup. And as you heard just a second ago, man, it's you're listening, you're like, oh my God, like this is, you know, it's just a different experience that unfortunately lightsabers are a little bit more simple than that, you know. They fire off and they do what they do. There's not really a necessity for such buildup like that in theatrics. So it's fonts like these are a fun time to kind of explore and do something different, you know. I will say though, for Ruin, for the Sith font for Starfall, when I did Ruin, the buildup on that one is almost like an evil Sith, like growly, you know, and like it almost makes a lot more sense in the idea of like imagine Sith arcane magic that's like energies like kind of sucking into the emitter before it explodes. Like that's kind of what it sounds like it's doing. So that's like probably the only instance where I think it could make sense if they ever did it in a movie or something, you know. But beyond that, yeah, I mean, normally it's just, you know, and you're off to the races, right? It's just like, so out of universe stuff is a great creative outlet when you're doing sound fonts. Sometimes you get to just play with a lot more concepts than the boundaries of Star Wars would allow, you know, normally. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and I mean, I kind of enjoy some of the out of universe and the theatrics, and because it just gives you I mean, there's guys that are like, oh, you know, you're not my favorite font maker because you add theatrics to your packages. Somebody
just
had
so
to do
you
it,
know,
right?
you're not my favorite font maker anymore. Where's Aaron, man?
Right?
Oh, I wish he was here.
But I find like I find that having those quotes and having the theatrics is, I mean, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's like, okay, you just want a pure, unadulterated lightsaber sound, and then there's other times where you want to just like immerse yourself and have those character inspired lines, and which you guys do great. So
You're muted, Mike.
Thanks. That's why before I sent you the saber, Jeff, I asked you, I'm like, you want the theatrics or just pure sound? You're like, you know, I love the theatrics. So I made sure everything was very theatrical for you.
and I love it. Like I was saying, I don't know if you were on the, oh yeah, I think you were on the stream. I've had to charge this thing a couple of times. So thankfully I watched your unboxing video of the Aaron, and know how to slide the chassis out and plug it in to charge it. So
All right. Yeah, that's right.
So
I did that.
thank you for making those videos.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, trying. Oh man. I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I'm still waiting. It just shipped though. I ordered the brass cover tech wheel, so because I have the well gold-ish button here, but I have the what's it called? I don't know. I like this thing, but it's just I want to change things up a little bit. I want to
Tell
have
you what,
options.
man, I've got Russell over at Wade Sabers that just took possession of my new thin neck MHS hilt.
Right, you were saying.
Those new thin neck pieces that they made. I
Mm-hmm.
put the picture on Instagram or at least in the Facebook group where you get to see what pieces I picked out. And man, dude, like I'm really excited. A true thin neck something out of MHS is something I've always wanted to see him do, and God, it took him 10 years, but here we are. And so Wade Sabers will be building this hilt out for me. It's going to have a CFX. It will be outfitted with direct connect capability, like a true line in. So
Nice.
I will finally get to that point, but he's going to be working on it for at least a couple months, maybe even a few, just when he has time, because I don't have any rush. I'm trying to move in the house and build my office out, but I'm also having him. He and I are actively in some R&D, research and development, because there's something very specific I'm going to have him do with this hilt that nobody's really ever done before.
Cool.
And when that comes to fruition, I cannot wait. And it's going to be one of those things where as soon as I do a demo with this hilt and show off that thing, it's going to be blatantly obvious right out of the gate. And it's just something that I don't want to tell anybody. I don't want it to be a surprise because I think there's other people that will also want to do it. And it's just going to be really cool. I think it's going to help. Well, so this whole hilt is going to serve as a lot of things because, number one, once I get the new office built, I really want to go back through everything I have and do brand new updated demos. So the office is like going to serve as a new backdrop for that. And it's going to look real nice, and I'm going to make it all look cool in Star Wars. But also having that line in, it's just going to sound better. And, it for me, it's more of a marketing presentation at that point. It's not so much that I care about the difference between line in, lav mic, or Bluetooth or raw audio. I don't really care about all that crap. I mean, you still get to hear what you're getting no matter what. Right. But for what I want to do aesthetically in the video and, audio, I just feel like I kind of want to take it that direction. But again, on top of the line in, there's going to be something else that it's going to do that nobody's ever done before.
The look on Max's face is priceless.
Interesting.
Well, he doesn't know. Nobody, literally,
sorry.
not even Fours knows. I haven't told anybody.
No, I know, but Max is just like, nobody's ever done.
Well,
this before.
normally I will talk to Fours about a lot of stuff. He's a good friend of mine, and but I haven't, and I won't even tell him. I'm not going to tell anybody because this is just one of those things. Repulse Collectibles is going to be the first place where you'll see this thing. And it's all, there's a lot. I'm working on a lot of things. The Legacy hilt is before the end of the year, we'll go into production, and I'll have some units to sell. So it won't be a pre-order this time. It's going to be units in hand. And at first, there will be a very small amount available. And then, assuming they sell out, I'll be able to very rapidly order more. And maybe within a week or two after that, have more on hand. But the Legacy hilt is coming this year. Unless something unforeseen happens with, international shipping or something crazy like that. But, the Legacy hilt got a lot of attention. A lot. And I had a ton of people pre-order, or a good handful. And even beyond that, I had vendors, I had people, individuals. I had all kind of people reaching out, dude, Like, what can we do? Is there something we can do? How can I do this? Or would you be willing to, this was the best one. Someone actually asked me, dude, can't you just like make them and at a loss just so we can get some out there in the community so people can start reviewing? Now, I don't want to bust chops too bad because the place that opinion was coming from was very genuine, and that they really just wanted to know, like, hey, you know, like, yeah, if we get a few people that get their hands on it and can review, like, maybe that can generate something. But I'm like, unfortunately, it kind of doesn't work that way because I can't operate at any kind of a loss, for starters. And, you know, even if I could, that's just not a smart business move. So,
Well,
but I have found a way. I have found a way, and I am almost to my goal of the money I'm saving up to initiate that. And I think around the first week of October is the current plan to initiate that order, get them into production, and see, you know, if I can start getting them in people's hands before the end of the year. So it's coming one way or the other. Empty legacy hilts will be a thing if I have anything to say about it. If the legacy hilt does well, I can expand beyond that and move on to other designs, perhaps maybe even standard issue or some other stuff I have planned that nobody knows about. So we're going to see, man. Lots of new stuff always in the background.
which is good.
Yeah.
Ever expanding, ever changing, ever seeing.
I mean,
and you're, I mean, I know you're kind of a humble guy, and that's why it's stuff like this that I'm like the godfather of the font community, because I mean, at the end of the day, you've got big plans, and yeah, you've had to step away, but you come back and you've been there for, well, a lot longer than a lot of people. So
I think, yeah, you know, if I have my way about it, man, I want Repulse to Collectibles to turn into a true hobby marketplace for, you know, really the main focus is Star Wars, of course, but if it really is successful down the road, I've given myself, with the way I've named the company, a way to branch out into other sci-fi genres if Star Wars is successful enough to warrant that. And that could be anything from other licensed products and you know, trinkets, collectibles, you know, like what's a good example? Sabermock, you know, they have these holocrons that you can get, or whatever, or even like what I do, like with my Nintendo cartridge hard drive stuff, you know, those are what I would call collectible items,
right?
You know, but eventually I would like to branch off into other you know, IPs and genres and just do my own custom takes on stuff, but for the foreseeable future, it's always going to revolve around Star Wars-esque related type stuff, you know.
Right.
But Legacy, yeah, funny enough, it's not even a damn Star Wars hilt, the first thing I'm going after, but that's typical me, man.
Yeah, but the key word in that whole, even though it's not typical Star Wars, the key word in that is lightsaber hilt.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So.
And that particular design got a lot of attention, more than I expected, which is a good thing. So, but
I mean, you look at all these guys that are doing like saber trios or flagships, and they're getting them powder coated and acid etched, and they're doing like Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, and
yeah,
right.
I saw a Game of Thrones flagship recently that just blew my mind.
So just because it's not in the Star Wars universe, the inspiration for your hilt doesn't mean it's not a Star Wars related item.
Oh, so. Speaking of which, Daryl, my installer, you know, Dante Saber Designs, yeah. Daryl, he just put the prototype back in the mail. I broke it and I had to send it back to him. I think he just sent it back to me. I think I'm getting it this coming week. And it has a Profi now. It had a Golden Harvest before, but I think when I broke the chassis, I might have screwed something else up, and he was just like, "Hey, do you want me to put this Profi in there instead?" And I actually wanted a CFX, but Profi's all he had, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine," because it's just kind of weird, but it's a prototype, so the my whole plan was with that damn prototype was to show it off, and I actually hadn't gotten to do that. So I really want to show it off, but perhaps this is all going to work out for the best because I can kind of sit on the prototype until I get the hilts into production, and then really use it to do some marketing. So yeah, it'll have its place.
Yeah, well, and I think that's kind of what a lot of people were waiting for, was to see that prototype.
Oh, I know, man, and it just didn't
in a finished state, and unfortunately, the dates just didn't line up.
Well, I got it. I kind of got it later than I would have liked, and that's not Daryl's fault. That's my fault. Just with the time frame in which I mailed it, and then of course I get it, and then I broke it, and I'm like literally, like I pulled it out of the package, I unscrewed the thing, I was checking something, and freaking I went to. It's the prototype, the tolerances are a little too tight. So when I was going to separate the body from the pull the body back to expose the chassis, you have to do this back and forth wiggling because it's so tight tolerance, right?
Right.
Well, of course, as soon as it goes loose, snap, and I'm like, oh no. And I was like, I text Daryl, I said, so this just happened, and I literally just got it. So crap.
Right.
Yeah, it was just one of those days where it's just like, you like one more thing happens and I'm gonna snap, and then like that one thing happens, and then you just kind of laugh, like you've just gone completely mad. It's like it's like, okay. Oh yeah.
So where are you going on vacation and when?
I will be going on vacation here in about another week, and then I'll be gone for 2 weeks, and we'll be in Utah.
Cool.
And then as soon as I get back, literally like 2 days later, we're gonna actually pay the movers to come get our stuff and move into the house.
Nice.
We're closing on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So we're gonna close, and then like we got a few days to do some stuff, and then we're going on vacation. Then we'll come back and actually move. So it's kind of hectic.
Well, and as long as borders don't shut down, we have a trip booked for December 29th to January 8th, and I know, Link, you and I have talked about this.
Oh.
And we're going to Orlando.
Right, and man, I will really have to look at things and see if there's anything I'm going to be able to do, because you guys just keep reminding me as it gets closer, and I'll have to look at things. I would love to visit if I can.
It would be cool to do like a Usual Suspects Galaxy's Edge trip.
I thought that was in Cali.
Clearly my birthday.
Wait! I thought that was in California.
I'll definitely make it to the California one. I'll say that right now, because California's driving distance for me.
Wait, Galaxy's Edge ain't anywhere else but California, correct?
No, it's in
Florida too.
Yep.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Hollywood Studios.
Wait a
Or
minute.
MGM
What am I stupid?
in
Has it always been
Disney.
in Florida?
It's in both.
Where's
next
the
to Star Wars,
Falcon?
I'm pretty sure.
What's that?
Where's the Falcon at?
In both.
Both.
I've just never known this whole time. What's wrong with me?
Well, it was originally at Disneyland first, but then they brought it to Disney World, so you could technically make the argument that
a year
Yeah.
later or something. It's the same
Well, I'll
with
be damned.
it's the same
Well,
with Avengers
Jeff,
Campus.
yes. Look, if I can come and everyone's able to do that, then of course, I just again have to look at the time frame of all that, I mean, that's obviously right smack through the holidays.
Oh yeah.
When is it, Jeff?
December 29th to January 8th is when we're down there.
It's after Christmas. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how my schedule's gonna be.
I can look at things and see what's going on, and I'll get with you guys about it, and when the time comes. And
Interesting.
yeah, if I can, I would love to.
In
That'd be
January,
fantastic.
I can't before like after New Year's. I can't do anything before that.
You can or can't?
Can't. So like after January 1st, like it's game. I think. Yeah, just gotta figure it out what days.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
I know. I haven't even met Forza in person. We've done video calls and talk. I mean, we've everything but meet in person for like the last few years, and it's just like, damn, man, it's kind of weird. It doesn't feel like it feels like we've been friends for much longer than that, but so it's gonna be kind of weird to actually see him in person one day.
I was just thinking about like a meetup. We gotta do this.
That's what Mike and I have actually been talking about, because I mean, Mike and I talk daily, usually either via text or actual phone calls, but it would be cool to do like everybody get together and we hang out.
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome birthday present.
Yeah, it'd be we just have to. It's hard, man, with everybody being everywhere.
Yeah,
well,
that's why it's always
exactly
good to have like
it.
some big convention or something. If conventions can
Yes.
start popping off again, man, because then it's a little more controlled and like scheduled.
Yeah.
So if conventions
it's
can
easier
ever
to
become a
plan
big
for
thing
it.
again,
What about conventions?
I was just saying if conventions can ever start to become normal again,
Right.
that's where it's easier to plan meetups, you know, because it's a much more planned and controlled setting for most people.
We'll have to do San Diego at some point.
San Diego is a different process. I know how San Diego works. I've been to San Diego. I'll say this right now. It's not one of those things where you can be like, hey, I'm going to buy tickets for this. That's not how it works. It's very different. I would say you're better off going to like one of the more local conventions rather than San Diego. Because San Diego, you're not going to get a guaranteed like chance of getting in. Because San Diego, what they do is like a lottery system where they only give out a certain number of badges to this many people, and that's it.
Let me tell you something. I am not going to ever go to that one. I'll go to any other ones, but I won't ever step foot in that one.
So let's do Bakersfield.
No. Okay, let me put it this way. I'm not going to step foot in California. Nope.
Not even for Disney?
Nope. They got Disney in Florida.
What's going on with Cali?
I'm close to Cali though, so it's like
we're not going to go there.
Just to explain, the whole Bakersfield thing was a Big Bang Theory reference. Nobody else caught that.
I didn't catch it, and I've never
Sorry.
seen it. So. Wow.
Florida is all good. I'm good with
rewatch
Florida.
Interesting.
I lived in Florida.
And
I've lived in Florida in 2 different places and done a lot of traveling through there. So like I'm kind of like in my element in Florida.
And I actually prefer Florida to California anyways. Where did my mouse go? There it is. I prefer Florida to California anyways.
Hey, there he is. What's up, brother?
Yeah, what's up? I just got home from work.
What's up, dude?
He makes it just under the wire.
Just in time.
Let's say we should probably start the after party soon.
I was gonna say I'm almost about to have to get out of here anyway. No, I won't leave. I'm not leaving just yet, but here in probably the next 10-15.
Same.
Well, I think in about 1 minute we're gonna call the stream because that's our 3-hour mark. So
Want to go to an even 3, right?
Aaron's pretty close to an even 3. So Aaron, you literally squeaked in under the wire.
Yes.
So I know we had you earlier, but not in physical form. And then you were an
Mental.
ethereal voice.
System.
Yes.
Long have I waited.
There we go.
Long have I waited.
Oh boy.
First,
So,
dude, I'm not even kidding. It's like the ultimate
like raspy.
cigarette voice, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long have I waited. And I'm not even that good at it. Yeah.
so that General Hilt that you sent pictures of, Mike, I have seen
Yeah.
that.
You've seen it?
Yep. Yeah, I have seen it circulating around.
Mhm.
All right, gentlemen. So here we are on behalf of the Impressionist guy, Max Brown, Shadow Tech Sabers. We can't see Link from Repulse Collectibles,
But he would say,
but he would say, "Hey."
Hey, bro.
And on behalf of the Han Solo to my Chewbacca, Ninja Jedi Order, and myself, Jedi Knight Jeff, may the Force be with you. Have a good night.
good night.